She'd wanted to drown herself in the lake, but a whirlpool dragged her into another world. When she woke up, she found herself in a strange room, surrounded by people with blank-faced expressions and fresh surgical scars. A chill went down her spine. First, figure out where this place is, she thought, then find a way to escape. Suddenly, a drooling, heavy-set woman leaned in close, a snot bubble inflating in her nostril. The girl recoiled. The woman just stared at her dumbly. Awkwardly, the girl scratched her head and asked where they were. But the woman could only babble incoherently. A slogan was printed on her clothes: "The Center for Human Sustenance." The thin girl's jaw dropped. She thought she'd been captured by some secret research organization that wanted to turn her into a freakish half-human, half-thing. The thought alone was enough to scare the life out of her. Just then, she saw the shadow of a wolf cast on the wall outside the room. She slowly walked toward it, holding up her own hand to compare it to the massive paw print. She couldn't shake the feeling that the wolf was staring right at her. The door swung open. She whipped her head around to see a fox-like beastman walk in, his two furry ears twitching. The girl's jaw nearly hit the floor. She scrambled back into the crowd, her mind racing. Had she been transported to a world of monsters? And it wasn't humans studying beastmen, but beastmen studying humans. A beastman started walking toward her and her heart clenched. She was about to speak, but she realized that none of the other humans here seemed to be able to. Fearing that a single word would get her eaten, she decided she absolutely could not reveal that she could talk. At that moment, someone draped a piece of clothing over her shoulders and said gently, "Don't be afraid. I'm taking you home." With that, he swept her up into his arms. Trembling, the girl looked up at the tall, handsome beastman and realized he was the one who had cast the wolf shadow on the wall. She was still wondering why this wolf beastman wanted to take her home when the fox spoke up. "Brother Wolf, I have to remind you, this female is extremely frail. She was originally slated for the breeding department. Every beastman is only allowed to purchase one in their lifetime." Female? The word stunned the girl. Had the humans in this world been reduced to pets for the beastmen? She pinched her own cheek hard. The sharp pain confirmed it wasn't a dream. The red-furred fox urged the wolf beastman to reconsider. The girl felt her world collapsing. She didn't want to be sent to a breeding department to be a baby machine. She reached up, grabbed the wolf beastman's ears, and pretended to adore him, silently chanting, pick me, I can do anything. You don't have to walk me, and I'm super low maintenance." A shiver ran through the wolf beastman. The truth was, he had chosen this frail girl from the very beginning. She had been kept in the defective ward, where most humans were sent to the breeding department for beastmen who couldn't afford a healthy female. The red fox had suggested he choose from another ward, insisting that only the fattest, healthiest females were worthy of him. The wolf beastman waved his hand. "I don't just want fat and healthy. I want one that's smart, one I can communicate with." Just as the fox was fretting, the wolf beastman spotted the girl in the room and was instantly captivated. The girl, seeing his shadow through the glass, had looked right at it. The wolf beastman was shocked. "She can see me?" "It's one-way glass," the red fox said. It must have been an unconscious gesture. The wolf beastman placed his hand against the glass, and the girl inside mirrored the action, placing her hand against his. He was overjoyed. "She's interacting with me." Outside the room, the wolf beastman lowered his head, letting the girl knead his ears. The red fox was flabbergasted. No wonder she has tranquilizers in her system. How can you let someone just rub your ears in public like that? "Tranquilizers?" the wolf beastman asked. "Probably for treating some kind of illness," the fox replied. The girl's heart sank. In her old world, she hadn't been sick, but they'd sent her to a sanatorium anyway. Now she definitely didn't want to be sent to the breeding department. She had to make this big gray wolf take her. She hugged him tightly, nuzzling against his chest to show her affection and trust in her new master. The red fox, however, just said, "Her mental illness is acting up." Like an enraged little animal, the girl turned and let out a low growl at the fox, telling him to shut up. The fox jumped back. "Such strong aggression! This female is too dangerous!" A smirk played on the wolf beastman's lips. "She's only like that with you. Now, take me to do the paperwork." The girl breathed a sigh of relief. The red fox was speechless but could only offer his silent blessing. He offered to prescribe some more tranquilizers for the girl, which made her panic. She didn't want to go bald from taking too much medication. Just as she was trying to figure out a way to refuse, the wolf beastman spoke. "That won't be necessary. As long as I'm here, she won't be a danger, no matter how agitated she gets. His eyes were full of adoration. A warmth spread through the girl's chest. Can I really trust him? The price for the girl was 10,000 contribution coins. The wolf beastman raised a fist, his expression darkening. The red fox quickly explained, "That's already a bargain. The female with the intellect of a 5-year-old costs several 100,000, and she's the only one we've managed to cultivate in nearly a century." The girl was floored. What was wrong with the humans here? She decided to continue her silent act. The red fox insisted on the 10,000 coins, not a single one less. The wolf beastman's eyes narrowed, his knuckles cracking. The fox turned green with fear and quickly offered a discount. The wolf beastman waved it off. "No need. She's priceless to me." The little fox let out a silent sigh of relief. Yes, of course. Have you thought of a name for her?" The wolf beastman looked at the girl with deep affection, gently pinching her thin cheek. He decided to name her Lily. The red fox immediately praised it as a wonderful name. After the paperwork was done, the wolf beastman, Kale, carried Lily home. He didn't know that a group of beastmen was waiting for them, all hoping to join his team. Kale was the world's top warrior, and everyone assumed the female he chose would be top tier as well. As Kale approached with Lily in his arms, a cheetah beastman eagerly ran up, hoping to be recruited. But when he saw Lily, he froze. She was as scrawny as a twig, with barely any meat on her bones. The crowd was deeply disappointed. The cheetah declared Lily's quality was terrible, worse than the females in the breeding department. A cold sweat broke out on Lily's back. "All of you, get lost!" Kale roared at the crowd. The yellow-furred cheetah was sent flying. The others, terrified, scattered in all directions. Kale smiled at Lily. "It's okay. I can provide for you all by myself." Lily was stunned. "Does it cost a lot of money to raise me?" Kale carried his new pet home. Soon he heard footsteps behind him. His eyes narrowed as he turned to see a bear beastman blocking his path. Lily gasped silently. "What a huge black bear! What does he want with my master?" She subconsciously clapped a hand over her mouth. Oops, how did I start calling him master so naturally? Kale's face was grim. "I don't need teammates." The large black bear pointed at Lily. "She needs someone to look after her." Kale's eyes narrowed as he quickened his pace, carrying Lily away. It dawned on Lily that the bear beastman was applying to be her nanny. She sighed. "Looks like my dumb master is pretty poor. No wonder he picked the cheapest pet." But a short distance later, the big black bear was following them again. When they arrived at Kyle's home, Lily was utterly shocked. He wasn't poor, he was just cheap. Kale opened the door and a giant pitcher plant came into view. Lily, fascinated, trotted over to it. The next second, the plant shot out a vine and swallowed her whole. Furious, Kale tied up the pitcher plant. Lily was scared out of her wits. Why is this wolf growing such a dangerous plant in his house? Is he trying to train his reflexes? Strangely, there were almost no plants on the streets in this world. Yet the air was exceptionally fresh. As she was lost in thought, Kale tilted her small, thin face up. "I'm going to tell you my name now. You have to learn it. It's very important." Lily was confused. Do pets need to know their master's name? Then again, being able to boss her master around didn't sound too bad. The wolf beastman introduced himself as Kale and told her to repeat after him. Lily was about to speak when she remembered that most humans in this world couldn't talk. If she repeated his name, she'd blow her cover. She didn't want to be put on display for all the beastmen to gawk at. Better to play dumb for now. She pretended not to understand, staring at him blankly. Kale just ruffled her hair, thinking he was being too hasty. Just then, a delivery of supplies for Lily arrived. Kyle went out to get them, telling her to play on the bed. Once Kyle was gone, Lily let out a sigh of relief and flopped onto the bed. That was close, almost blew it. Suddenly, a strange feeling came over her, and she started bouncing on the bed like it was a trampoline. Outside, Kyle was checking the supplies when he heard a loud crash from the room. Thinking something had happened to Lily, he burst in with the speed of a man who's been single for 200 years. He found her bouncing back and forth on the bed, full of energy. A smile tugged at his lips. "Looks like I made the right choice. My Lily is amazing." But after a few minutes, Lily was panting and exhausted. The next moment, she fainted on the bed. Kale rushed over to check on her and found she had simply fallen asleep. He carried her to the bathroom to clean her up. Lily's hand slipped into the water, and she groggily opened her eyes to find herself draped over the big gray wolf, Kale. She scrambled backward in terror. The feeling of his furry, wet wolf coat made her so scared she could have wet herself. She tried to stand, but the fur was too slippery. She stumbled and fell back into the tub, gulping down bathwater. Luckily, Kale pulled her up in time, saving her from either choking or drowning. Soapy water got into her eyes, but Kale just stared at her blankly. The more she rubbed her eyes, the harder they were to open. She cursed her dumb master internally. Pets have privacy too. Rinse my face and get out. Mortified, she dunked her head under the water. Kyle chuckled. Lily really is smart. He used the shower head to rinse the soap from her face, and then helped dry her off. But one of her eyes still wouldn't open. Seeing that it wasn't clean, Kale actually licked the corner of her eye with his tongue, then held her face. They are all clean now. Lily's face turned as red as an apple. She grabbed his ear, fuming internally. Control your canine instincts. Stop licking me. She stood up with a splash, angrily trying to get out of the tub. But one look around made her freeze. The bathroom was full of obstacles she couldn't climb over. She knew nothing about this world. Even if she escaped this house, the beastmen outside were like a pack of hungry wolves. Without Kale's protection, she'd probably be eaten without a trace. With that thought, she sat back down in the water, telling herself to calm down. It's just a bath. I used to give my dog baths when I was little. Seeing her calm down, Kale decided to get it over with quickly. Soon she was all clean. But the thought of Kale washing her body and even using a razor to trim her hair short made her furious. You big bad wolf, you're in big trouble now, I'm going to fight back. Suddenly, she remembered Kale saying that females had to be kept clean to avoid infection after giving birth. The word birth sent a shiver down her spine. He's not going to make me go on pet dates, is he? After her bath, Lily was starving. Kale immediately carried her to the dining area. She expected a delicious meal, but what she saw in her bowl made her stare in disbelief. It was wood chips soaked in water. She was fuming. You smelly wolf! You're feeding me soaked wood! She watched as Kale picked up a block of wood from the table and started chewing on it with relish. Lily was dumbfounded. She never would have guessed that beastmen ate wood. Kale held out a pill. A wave of fear washed over Lily, and she buried her face in his muscular chest. Didn't you say you wouldn't give me medicine? Did you change your mind because I was causing trouble? Kale gently stroked her head. This is a pill to help you fill out. You're too thin. Lily thought back to all the times people had tricked her into taking medicine by telling her it was candy. But she was afraid he'd force-feed her if she refused. So she came up with a plan. She popped the pill in her mouth and opened wide to show him. Kale was taken aback. Lily is so smart. She seems to understand a lot of what I say. He didn't notice that she had hidden the pill under her tongue. To properly hide the pill, Lily knocked a block of wood off the table, making Kale bend down to pick it up. While he was distracted, she pulled open her collar and dropped the pill inside her clothes. When Kale handed her the wood, she chose to eat that rather than the pill. But when he brought the soaked wood pulp to her lips, she took a tiny taste and grimaced. The scratchy wood was impossible to swallow. When she heard Kale say he had also mixed a fattening powder into it, she instinctively spat it out, choking and coughing. There was no escaping it. She grumbled to herself, "You're not turning me into a fatty. Being overweight is not healthy." But what could she do? The medicine was mixed in the food, and she couldn't just eat it and spit it back out. Lily pushed the food away and switched to her ultimate weapon, pouting, acting cute, and playing pitiful. To her surprise, it worked. Kale immediately threw the food away. Lily was secretly delighted. It actually worked. Kale's weak spot is so easy to exploit. Just as she was feeling smug, Kale planted a loud kiss on her cheek. Lily's face instantly flushed, and she clapped a hand over his mouth. Meanwhile, the bear beastman had been waiting outside Kale's house, thinking about Lily the whole time. When he saw Kale come out carrying her, he rushed over, luggage in tow. Lily felt a pang of sympathy. It seems like jobs are hard to come by for beastmen. Kale told the big black bear to leave, saying he didn't need a team, and wouldn't share Lily with any other beastman. The bear reached out to touch Lily, but was met with a harsh glare from Kale. He instinctively flinched but still didn't give up. Kale told Lily to close her eyes, then let out a roar at the bear, shifting into his beast form with a whoosh. Just as he was about to attack, Lily's heart tightened. They both looked terrifyingly strong. This could get ugly. She rushed forward to stop them. Kale quickly soothed Lily. Don't be afraid, we're not going to fight. He then turned and walked away, holding her. They arrived at a luxurious shopping mall. Lily finally saw food that humans could eat, and pointed at the fruit on a counter, indicating she wanted some. She was eagerly anticipating a big dragon fruit, but the cashier turned around and put the fruit in a microwave. It'll be ready in 3 minutes, he said. Lily was completely baffled. You have to microwave fruit? A few minutes later, a steaming, hot, roasted dragon fruit was ready. Lily was speechless, but she ate it anyway. It was better than wood pulp laced with fattening powder. But the pet clothes she was wearing were incredibly inconvenient. It was a one-piece with a zipper, and going to the bathroom was always an embarrassing ordeal. Just then, an ad played on the mall's screen for the developing female. For those with poor physical growth, a must-have supplement for every family with a female, the Plump Up pill. It dawned on Lily. The pill Kale gave me is the same one from the ad. He wasn't lying. Thinking about how she had never developed properly, she realized the Plump Up pill was exactly what she needed. She decided to eat the pill she had hidden in her clothes. Suddenly, a deer beastman approached them. Kale's eyes narrowed. Who are you? The deer beastman trembled, explaining he was a clothing store clerk. Lily had spotted a dress in the store and pointed at it. Kale immediately took her inside to try it on. Try on clothes? Lily's heart sank. She was sure he wouldn't let her wear it himself. Worse, she was afraid he'd discover the pill hidden in her clothes and find out she was faking being dumb. She couldn't risk being dissected by beastmen. Lily rushed into the dressing room to get the pill. But her gloved hands were too clumsy, and she struggled to get her jacket off. Kale thought she was playing hide-and-seek and was about to push the door open, but he found it locked from the inside. A cold sweat beaded on Lily's forehead. She finally managed to get the jacket off. Just then, the deer clerk arrived with a key to the dressing room. She was running out of time. At the critical moment, just as the two beastmen burst in, she finally got the pill out. As Kale opened the door, she took advantage of the brief darkness as the light switched on to swallow the Plump Up pill. By the time the lights were on, she was already dressed, though still panting. Kyle scooped her up in a panic, blaming himself for not knowing how to take care of a female. He silently vowed to learn as quickly as possible. He asked if she wanted to try on any other new clothes. Lily's big eyes blinked as she nodded. Kale melted and planted another kiss on her cheek. After buying the clothes, they left the store, unaware that a few shady beastmen were following them. Kale took Lily to an arcade. There were many human pets inside, but all of them were female. Lily was wondering why there were no males when Kale set her down. I have to go upstairs for a class on how to care for females. I'll be back in an hour to pick you up. Lily's heart clenched. She was afraid of running into those bad beastmen alone. She grabbed Kale's pant leg, wanting to go with him. The little wolf's heart thumped in his chest. It was the first time he had felt so needed by a female. But he had to learn how to take care of her, so he gently pried her hand away and kissed her forehead. Be good, I'll be back soon. With that, he turned and went upstairs. Lily was exasperated. How did I end up with such a clingy master? She decided to use his absence to investigate the situation of humans in this beast world. Suddenly, a heavy-set girl rushed over, yelling that she wanted the fruit in Lily's hand. Lily was shocked. She can talk? Does that mean I can talk too? The next moment, her foot slipped, and she landed flat on her butt, earning a round of laughter from a group of male beastmen. So that's the female Kyle picked? What an idiot! Lily was fuming. These beastmen were clearly looking for trouble. I need to be careful. They continued to insult her, and Lily clenched her fists. A lion beastman swaggered up with a sleazy grin. How about you come out and play with Big Brother? Lily turned and ran, but the lion beastman caught her. Lily slapped him hard across the face. One of the other beastmen warned his captain, That's Kale's female. He'll be furious if he finds out. Lily nodded vigorously, trying to signal that Kale was indeed very powerful and they should let her go. But the lion beastman was fearless and insisted on taking her. Lily grabbed her fruit and smashed it against his head. You big brute, let me go! The lion beastman snatched the fruit, so angry his cavities ached. He gave the fruit to his own human pet. Lily felt her world crumble. She had been starving since she arrived in this world. She lunged forward to get her food back, but the lion held it tight. She bit down hard on his hand. The other beastmen were aghast. The lion beastman grabbed both her hands, intending to make a quick getaway. Lily knew this had to be revenge. If they took her, she'd be in real trouble. In a moment of desperation, she yelled, Go away! The single clear word stunned the entire room. It was the first time these beastmen had heard a female speak so clearly. They all thought she must be a rare specimen. The lion beastman was ecstatic, now even more determined to have her for himself. Oh crap, I messed up and revealed myself. Fear gripped Lily. When Kale found out Lily had been taken, he flew into a rage and tore the arcade apart. Tell me, which scumbag took my Lily and where did they go? The lion beastman, Cyrus, dragged Lily into the jungle, moving as fast as lightning, nearly shaking her to pieces. He had taken her to frame Kale for losing a female. According to the Beast World's Female Protection Act, if a female was lost, even if she was found, the center would forcibly reclaim her. Cyrus was gloating, certain that Kale would have to beg to join his team. Lily realized that humans in this world were more than just simple pets. She didn't want to be reclaimed. She had to escape and get back to Kale. Just then, a kangaroo beastman leaped into the air, tossing her around. Seeing the heavy-set girl Patty sucking her thumb nearby, Lily got an idea. She started tickling Patty, who burst into laughter. The beastman heard the noise and stopped. Cyrus let them both out of the kangaroo's pouch. Patty, now afraid of being tickled, hid behind Cyrus. Lily pretended to hide behind another beastman, making it look like she was just playing with Patty. Cyrus fell for it. But just then, the kangaroo beastman warned that Kale was catching up. Cyrus grinned. It was simple. He pointed at Lily. Hide her! Lily wasn't about to let him succeed. She looked around and spotted a dragon fruit tree. An idea sparked. She ran to the tree and shouted, "Wait, fruit! Fruit!" Patty saw it and started clamoring to eat. Dragon fruit was delicious, but the trees were extremely aggressive. Still, for the sake of his pet, Cyrus ordered all the beastmen to pick the fruit. Lily's heart leaped. She took the opportunity to turn and bolt. She ran back the way they came with the speed of an 18-year-old single girl. She thought she could escape by retracing her steps, but halfway back, she came to a fork in the road. She chose the brighter path, marking a tree in case she got lost. She kept running until she was out of breath. Suddenly, a dark shadow loomed behind her. "Who's there?" she whispered. She looked back but saw nothing, thinking it was her imagination. But the next second, she froze. The tree in front of her had the mark she had just made. Was she walking in circles? Meanwhile, Kel had reached the jungle. He caught Lily's scent and followed it to the beastman who had taken her. His face contorted with rage. With a roar, he launched himself at Cyrus, grabbing him by the throat. "Where is she?" Cyrus pointed deep into the jungle, trembling. She was eaten. Elsewhere, Lily realized she had run into a monster, guessing it was a trap set by the trees. She closed her eyes, trying to find the main body of these trees. A moment later, she realized with a shock that it was a moving banyan demon. All the tree trunks were its roots. She carefully avoided the roots, but a vine shot up from the ground and whipped toward her. Lily dodged but twisted her ankle with a snap, falling flat on her face. As she tried to get up, another vine wrapped around her ankle and flung her into the air with a whoosh. Lily grabbed onto a branch, but the vine wouldn't let go. "This is it," she thought frantically. "I'm going to die. Someone please save me." Kale forced Lily's location out of Cyrus, and certain she was still alive, sprinted deeper into the forest. Just then, the vine suddenly released Lily's foot. She was wondering how she'd been saved, when she looked back and saw a wolf fighting the banyan demon. Kale had saved her. Tears welled in Lily's eyes as she cried out his name. Kale seemed to hear her and let out a triumphant howl. Then his eyes hardened as countless vines swarmed toward him. Lily didn't want to distract him, so she tried to get to a safe spot. Suddenly, a strong gust of wind blew past, and several beastmen appeared before her. What a thin female! Why is she all alone? Lily wondered who was speaking. She looked up and nearly fainted. Before her stood several tall, imposing beastmen. The leader, a massive lion, was the chieftain of this world. Lily thought she had run into another group of bad guys. The great lion picked her up and demanded, "Who is her male?" How could he leave a female alone in the forest? A beastman replied, "It's Kale." The chieftain's face darkened. A massive explosion echoed from ahead, and a powerful shockwave rolled over them. Everyone assumed Kale was done for, but Lily's eyes lit up. Kale, leading a group of beastmen, burst out from the chaos. Everyone was amazed, and Lily was overjoyed. Kale rushed toward her, and in a blink, he snatched her from the great lion's arms, landing in a ridiculously cool pose. The master and servant tearfully embraced. Kale held her tight, kissing and hugging and lifting her high, nearly squeezing the air out of the frail girl. Realizing he was being too rough, Kale quickly loosened his grip. Lily gasped for air. "I'm saved." This caretaker's enthusiasm was overwhelming. He was like a clingy, adorable wolf pup, always planting kisses on her cheeks. The other beastmen stared in awe. Lily grabbed both of Kale's ears. "Can't you break this bad habit of kissing people all the time?" The gesture made everyone's jaws drop. The fierce wolf warrior had turned into a little puppy. They were all incredibly envious. The bad lion beastman Cyrus felt a bit slighted, thinking his own human pet could do the same. He tried to nuzzle his ears against Patty, but she just started whacking him with a piece of fruit. Afterward, Kale accused Cyrus of kidnapping Lily and nearly getting her eaten by a banyan demon. But Cyrus refused to admit it, instead blaming Kale and claiming he had beast syndrome. He even bribed the arcade's security guard to give false testimony. Kale was so angry his fangs ground together. Lily saw right through the lie. The bad lion gloated while the other beastmen started to think Kale was the more likely culprit, all agreeing that he was the one who lost Lily. Lily was trying to figure out how to expose Cyrus and win the chieftain's trust. But the next moment, Cyrus was hugging the chieftain's leg, crying about how wronged he was. The chieftain patted his head, saying that since it was one person's word against another's, they would investigate thoroughly back at the city. Lily was speechless. Kale let out a cold laugh. A nest of snakes. What's the point of pretending to investigate? With that, he shifted into his beast form and lunged at Cyrus. The two were instantly at each other's throats, a battle about to break out. At that critical moment, Lily ran straight at the bad lion, grabbed a handful of his mane, and started pulling with all her might. Kale frantically told her to let go, that it was too dangerous. Lily had no choice but to speak. "My fruit, bad lion?" Kale froze, then turned to glare at Cyrus. "You stole Lily's food?" Cyrus was at a loss for words. Lily sighed in relief. "The little wolf cub is smarter than he looks. The rest is up to you." Kale asked the chieftain how Cyrus should be punished. The chieftain glared at Cyrus and demanded to know if Kale was telling the truth. Cyrus trembled, saying nothing. The chieftain had to turn and ask Lily. Kale quickly stepped in front of her, roaring, "Chieftain, Lily is smart, but she can't communicate normally yet." Lily nodded, then spoke again. "Yes, he ate my fruit." She pointed at Patty. Kale's face lit up with pride. "You're a genius," he praised. The chieftain asked Lily who she was with before she got lost. This was the moment Lily had been waiting for. She pointed at Cyrus and huffed, Him, bad lion!" The chieftain was stunned, his mouth open wide enough to fit an ostrich egg. The crowd erupted. What a smart female, she can speak so clearly. Lily realized she had been too obvious. I need to be more careful in the future. Furious and embarrassed, Cyrus shot back that Lily had bitten him, proving she was mentally unstable and lying. Kale fiercely defended her. Lily is perfectly sane and she doesn't lie. The fact that she bit you proves that you abducted her by force. Cyrus panicked, unable to respond. Just then, a bear beastman stepped forward to testify for Kale. Cyrus cursed him as a traitor. The bear didn't want to go against his conscience. He was more impressed by the clever Lily and exposed Cyrus's scheme. Seeing this, the other beastmen who had been with Cyrus also came forward to testify against him. The bad lion was so scared he wet himself. The chieftain exploded with rage and ordered him to be arrested and brought to justice. Kale picked up Lily, ready to go home. On the other side of town, the big black bear, Bruno, was still waiting outside Kyle's house, cleaning out the drainage ditch. Lily wondered what he was doing. When the big bear saw Lily, his face lit up. He unconsciously wiped his large hands on his pants and went back to his work. Lily felt a bit sorry for him. He seemed so honest and hardworking. Maybe Kale will change his mind and let him stay? Kale walked toward the bear. Bruno's eyes lit up, thinking he finally had a chance to join the team. But Kale just walked past without a second glance. Bruno's heart sank. Seeing the bear's dejected look, Lily wanted to help. She tossed him an edible block of wood. Bruno caught it, his heart pounding as he looked at the food that Lily had been eating. In the beast world, a female only gave food to a male she liked. But Lily was just trying to be nice with no other intentions. Back home, Lily was devouring roasted fruit. Kale wondered why she was still so hungry after eating the special wood, guessing she must have suffered a lot in the forest. His eyes narrowed and he slammed his fist on the table. I will never let Lily be in danger again. He stormed out of the house and glared at the black bear. But Bruno refused to leave, insisting that Kale's team needed help. Kale gritted his teeth and surprisingly invited the black bear inside. Lily, who had just finished eating and was hiccuping, was surprised to see Kale walk in with Bruno behind him. I can't believe Kale actually got me a nanny. Kale picked up Lily and told Bruno to find a room for himself, then carried her to their room to rest. Bruno, wanting to make a good impression, asked Kale what he needed him to do. Kale's face darkened. I'll call you if I need something. He then carried Lily off for a bath. Lily tried to convince herself, First time's awkward, second time's a habit. I'll get used to it. Seeing her shy and adorable look, the little wolf cub couldn't resist planting another kiss on her cheek. Lily's face flushed crimson. While kissing pets was common in her old world, this level of intimacy felt unsettling. She decided she had to establish some authority with Kale. With a splash, she stood up and stared at him with a serious expression. Startled, Kale instinctively froze, and to his own surprise, actually knelt. A small smile played on Lily's lips. You mess with the bull, you get the horns. Kale looked at her scrawny little body, then lifted her out of the water and was about to call for the black bear. Seeing this, Lily scrambled out of the room, running right into a very surprised Bruno. The black bear blushed furiously. In that instant, Lily's shriek nearly brought the house down. Kale threw Bruno out. Lily was on the verge of tears. Being a pet is terrifying. A little while later, a trembling Bruno brought her the plump-up pill. Lily was exasperated. She didn't want the big bear feeding her. But the pill was already in front of her. Thinking it was better to just get it over with, she swallowed it in one gulp. The big black bear stared at his own hand, his heart thumping wildly. Kale told him to get some water. Bruno, his mind completely filled with thoughts of Lily, didn't hear a word. Kale's eyes narrowed, and he kicked him out of the room again. Though Bruno landed on his butt, he was ecstatic. He knew following Kyle was the best decision he'd ever made. Kale closed the bathroom door and walked over to Lily, holding out a sparkling crystal. Lily gasped at its beauty and was about to reach for it. But Kale quickly pulled it back. Say my name again and I'll give it to you. She pouted and huffed, Dumb wolf! Kale paused, then held the crystal out to her again. Call me Kay. Lily opened her mouth slightly. Kay. The wolf was full of anticipation. She's going to say it. But instead, Lily swallowed the crystal whole. Kale's jaw dropped. He grabbed her mouth, telling her to spit it out. But the crystal was already down her throat. Lily started chugging bathwater, trying to bring it back up. Kale stroked her head reassuringly. It's okay. These transparent crystals are non-toxic. But you must never eat the colored attribute crystals. They can be life-threatening. Lily nodded. Don't worry, I wouldn't eat something so dangerous. Kale praised her for being so good and lifted her out of the tub. Lily's eyes grew heavy, and a wave of drowsiness washed over her as she fell into a deep sleep. She didn't know that the crystal was slowly dissolving in her stomach, transforming into streams of rainbow-colored light. Unbeknownst to her, Lily was evolving. The next day, Lily woke up feeling refreshed and clear-headed. Suddenly, her vision sharpened and she could see into the other rooms. Thinking she was still half asleep, she closed her eyes and tried again. Her vision extended all the way to the yard before it faded. Lily was shocked. She had always been able to sense others' spiritual energy, but she never thought she would have it herself. Remembering the crystal she'd swallowed, she realized what had happened and was thrilled. If I can collect enough spiritual energy, I won't have to be a beastman's pet anymore. After getting up, she saw a note Kale had left. Following the instructions, she pressed a switch and heard his recorded message. Lily, the big dummy bear, and I have some errands to run. We'll be back in 2 or 3 hours. Be a good girl and wait for me at home. Lily's eyes lit up. She had over an hour to herself. Finally, a chance to properly investigate this world. Meanwhile, Kale and the black bear, Bruno, were at the Beast Administration Bureau, processing Bruno's residency application. At the last moment, Kale stopped him. Bruno thought he was having second thoughts. Kale laid out his terms for residency. I am the absolute leader of this household. You are not to get close to Lily without my permission. Bruno's face fell. Seeing him silent, Kyle thought he might have misjudged him. If you're not willing, you can still... Before he could finish, Bruno raised a fist and shouted, I'm willing! I am! His shout drew the attention of everyone in the hall. He declared, I want to help you take care of Lily. Only then was Kale satisfied, and he approved his residency. Bruno had finally joined their family and could help Kale care for Lily. Bruno couldn't wait to get back to see Lily. But Kale's eyes narrowed as he reprimanded him. You need to study how to care for a female, and especially how to control yourself. Bruno's face flushed, and he resolved to suppress his impulses. At the same time, Lily was at home, poring over books to learn about this world. She was so engrossed that she didn't notice the glove she had flushed down the toilet had clogged the pipes, and water was slowly flooding the floor. Then, while trying to rescue the little bird, Lily was swallowed by the pitcher plant in the yard. Just as she was about to lose consciousness, the wolf beast man, Kale, heard the commotion from inside. Thinking Lily had been kidnapped, his heart seized. He rushed home with the speed of a man who's been single for 20 years, kicked down the door, and rescued her from the plant. Lily could finally breathe, but her lips were turning purple. "Lily's been poisoned," Cale yelled, rushing her to the Beastman hospital and frantically calling for a doctor. Hearing that a human female had been poisoned, a veterinarian immediately led them to an examination room. A group of doctors surrounded Lily, inspecting her. Seeing the fuss, Lily thought she must have been seriously poisoned, though she felt fine. The doctor urgently asked Cale what the source of the poison was and how she'd ingested it. Cale explained that she'd been caught by the pitcher plant in their yard. The doctors all froze, exchanging confused glances. "Well, is the poisoning serious?" Cale pressed. After a thorough examination, the doctor said there were no visible signs of poisoning. He asked Cale to remove Lily's outer clothes to expose her arm for a blood draw. Lily blushed and started babbling, pulling up her own sleeve to show that he didn't need to take her clothes off. The sight of her slender, pale arm made everyone stare. Cale gently took her hand as if it were made of glass, but the doctor slapped his hand away. "You've already cut off her gloves? They could hurt themselves if they touch things." Lily cringed. "Really? Are humans here that fragile?" Luckily, she wasn't injured. Cale was puzzled. Her clothes had been fine when he dressed her. He figured the pitcher plant must have torn them. "I'm digging that thing up when we get home." He had no idea Lily had cut the gloves herself and flushed them down the toilet, which was now causing their house to flood. After drawing blood, the doctor sent a nurse to run tests. He commented on how thin Lily was, worried she might have other health problems. Cale praised her for being so brave, not even crying during the blood draw. Lily secretly rolled her eyes. "It's just a blood test, not like I'm a 3-year-old. This dumb wolf is making such a big deal out of nothing." Suddenly, they heard crying from a nearby room. It was another human girl, afraid of getting a shot. Lily froze. The patients were all male beastmen with human girls, and the doctors and nurses were all male beastmen too. In all her time in the beast world, she had never seen a female beastman or a human male. Are humans and beastmen different species? How could they even be together? The thought sent a shiver down her spine, and she let out a small cry. The doctor reminded Cale not to let Lily get cold, explaining that the other girls were crying because they felt unwell from the chill. Cale gently caressed her cheek. "I will." Looking at Lily, who was as thin as a reed, the doctor said her thinness was unhealthy and wanted to prescribe a weight gain supplement. Lily was appalled. "Being overweight is what's unhealthy, you quack." She stomped her foot in frustration, and to show these beastmen what true health looked like, she started doing gymnastics, kicking her leg high in the air. Cale's jaw dropped wide enough to fit an ostrich egg. The doctor was so shocked he started to stutter. Lily was secretly pleased. "Impressed by my physical fitness, huh? I don't need any weight gain supplements." To her horror, the doctor assumed she had a mental problem and wanted to prescribe tranquilizers. Lily felt her world crumble. She buried her face in Cale's chest, shaking her head. No, I'm not taking any medicine." Cale was certain she was mentally sound and guessed her behavior was due to the pitcher plant. Just then, the nurse returned with the lab results. The doctor took one look and his eyes widened. "What does it say?" Cale asked anxiously. The doctor shook his head like a bobblehead. "I've never seen a report like this." Lily trembled. If even the doctor has never seen it, is there any hope for me? Cale also assumed the poisoning was severe, but the doctor quickly clarified, "The female isn't poisoned." "This is the healthiest report I've ever seen." Lily let out a sigh of relief. Cale scooped her up and joyfully tossed her into the air. "That's great! Lily, you're the healthiest female." Lily found that she actually enjoyed being tossed in the air. The doctor was baffled. She's so thin, yet all her stats are perfect. Could it be that being thin is actually better for females? After registering Lily with her own dedicated doctor, Cale prepared to take her home. He asked casually, "How did you get caught by the pitcher plant in the yard? Did you open the door yourself?" The mention of the pitcher plant made Lily huff. "You're the one who planted that dangerous thing, and you have the nerve to ask me." Then the word home made her heart drop. "Oh no, I turned the house into a pigsty and nearly flooded it." When Cale saw the state of their home, he initially thought they'd been robbed. But the only scent in the house was Lily's, and he instantly knew it was her doing. Lily frantically waved her hands, playing dumb to deny any involvement. "Lily, did you do this?" Cale's face darkened, ready to discipline her. Lily flinched and immediately switched tactics, deploying her ultimate weapon. She started whimpering and making cute noises, her eyes welling up with tears. The wolf beastman melted instantly. His heart softened, and he turned to go clean up the bathroom. Lily paused, then it hit her. The flood in the bathroom was probably because I flushed the gloves. Just as she was thinking this, a roar came from the bathroom. Kale stomped out, holding the shredded glove. "Lily, did you cut this? Who told you you could use a knife?" His angry tone startled her, and she pouted, her eyes filling with tears. "Kale is being so mean. I just used a knife. What's the big deal?" Seeing her like this, Kale's heart softened again. But then he thought, if I don't set boundaries now, what if she gets into real danger later? He had just steeled himself to punish her. When Lily whispered, Lily doesn't like... Kale froze. "You don't like the gloves?" Lily nodded vigorously. "The gloves are to protect your hands," Kyle explained. Lily grumbled internally. This dumb master is so full of himself. The gloves are so inconvenient. "It feels much better to have my hands free." She looked at her own hands and smiled. Kale's anger vanished. He gave her a gentle tap on the forehead as a small punishment for playing with knives. Then he pulled her into his arms. "If you don't like them, we'll cut up the rest of them too." He decided not to restrict her choices anymore. A warmth spread through Lily's heart. She leaned in and planted a kiss on her wolf master's cheek. Kale's heart pounded in his chest, and he hugged her even tighter, nuzzling his face against hers. Lily felt a strange sensation. Just as they were having a tender moment, a thump, thump, thump came from the door. "Is that Bruno? Perfect timing." She scampered off to open the door. Kale was fuming. Who is this jerk interrupting at a time like this? The door opened, and Lily shrank back. "You? Weren't you locked up?" She quickly hid behind Kale. Seeing her fear, Kale roared at the beastman outside. "You're scaring Lily, you criminal, Cyrus!" The lion beastman Cyrus broke into a cold sweat. Lily was shocked. Did the bad lion escape from jail? He has a lot of followers, they could be hiding nearby. She used her spiritual energy to scan the area but found no other beastmen. Is he alone? He's no match for Kale, even with 10 more guys. He wouldn't come here just to die. It turned out Cyrus was there to deliver fruit as part of his sentence. Kale took the fruit. "We have dragon fruit, bring something else next time." Cyrus was furious. "Are you ordering from me now? Do I look like a restaurant?" Kale sprayed the fruit with disinfectant. "You harmed and kidnapped a female, and your only punishment is to bring Lily fruit for a year. That's far too light." Lily was flabbergasted. Is the legal system in the beast world this much of a joke? Cyrus tensed. "What are you planning?" Kale's eyes narrowed. "The criminal shows no remorse. The victim requests a retrial." Cyrus clenched his fists, then bowed. "I'm sorry. I lost my composure. Whatever your female wants to eat, I will find it." He had to endure this to get his sentence reduced so he could compete in the Chieftain's Challenge. "I'll let you know when I've decided. You can go," Kyle said, turning back inside. Lily stuck her tongue out at Cyrus. "Serves you right, you bad lion." A thought struck Cyrus. This female is so clever. Compared to my own fat female who only knows how to eat, she's on a whole other level. He couldn't help but take a couple of steps toward Lily. Kale whipped around. Before he could do anything, the big bear, Bruno, grabbed Cyrus. Learning that this was the lion who had kidnapped Lily, Bruno was enraged. "You harmed Lily, you deserve to die." Cyrus was so scared his teeth chattered. "I've already been judged by the law. You can't take matters into your own hands." Bruno's face was darker than charcoal. He lifted Cyrus up and with a mighty heave threw him into the sky. The beastmen in this world roasted all their fruit, something Lily as a human just couldn't stomach. She pointed at the fresh fruit, indicating she wanted to eat it raw. Kale thought she had a strange craving. He ruffled her hair. "That's raw, you can't eat it." He then mixed several kinds of roasted fruit together and handed it to her. Lily pouted. "What's the difference? It's still roasted fruit." She stared at Kale's hand and, in a daze, it started to look like a giant chicken leg. "Chomp," she bit down. Kale nearly jumped out of his skin, thinking she was angry with him. Lily batted her big eyes and mumbled, "Meat? Want to eat meat? Meat?" Kale paused, then a slow, mischievous grin spread across his face. "Be good, you'll get to eat meat later." Lily's heart leaped. "I finally get to eat meat." Kale sighed at her innocence, telling her she had to finish her roasted fruit first. Lily immediately opened her mouth obediently. Nearby, Bruno watched with shining eyes, wishing he could be that close to Lily. To achieve that, he scarfed down his own food in a few bites and got up to start his chores. Kale told Bruno to prepare Lily's fattening medicine first. Lily's face fell. Here we go again. When will this dumb wolf give up on fattening me up? After mixing the medicine, Kale blew on it to cool it and brought it to Lily's lips. Lily turned her head away, her mouth clamped shut. If you don't take your medicine, Dr. Bao will have to come give you a shot, Kale threatened. This only made Lily angrier. She pulled out a pill, signaling that she would only take the breast-plumping pill, not the fattening medicine. Kale gave an awkward laugh and tried to force it on her. Lily spat the medicine out with a puff. She turned and ran toward Bruno. The big bear's eyes lit up, thinking she wanted him to hold her. He opened his arms wide, but she just darted behind him. Kale walked over, medicine in hand, insisting she drink it. Lily huddled behind the bear, trembling. Seeing this, Bruno stepped in. Lily probably doesn't like the taste. Forcing her like this could cause a stress reaction. Kale thought for a moment and decided not to force her today. Just as Lily breathed a sigh of relief, he added, "Tomorrow I'll make the fattening medicine taste just like the breast-plumping pill. Lily should like that." No! Lily's jaw dropped and she bolted from the room. Kale told Bruno to clean up and then rest while he went to find Lily. Bruno, remembering how Lily had clung to his back, felt a warm, fuzzy feeling. He only wanted to be closer to her. Kale found Lily in her room, her back turned to him. He quietly climbed onto the bed. Thinking she was asleep, he wrapped his arms around her. Lily sighed. This dumb wolf is so clingy. The next morning, Lily woke up and wanted to find Kale, but then remembered she was still protesting. I can't go looking for him. Just then, she heard a rhythmic thump-thump from the yard. She went out to see Kale pulling up the pitcher plant, his muscular body glistening. Lily was mesmerized. Kale turned and gave her a bright smile, and her heart started to flutter. It's so hot. Why is my heart beating so fast? Am I getting heat stroke? Kyle walked over to her and said he was taking her to the amusement park later. An amusement park? Lily was stunned. Like the ones she went to as a child? Ever since she was sent to the sanatorium at 9, amusement parks had only existed in her dreams. How she longed to break free, to run and play freely in an amusement park. Lost in thought, she started running out of the house. Kale chased after her with a leash, which startled her so much she ran faster than a rabbit. She did not want to wear a leash harness. It was too humiliating. She was running so fast that she crashed into a little beastman child. Luckily, Kale caught her just in time. Lily looked at the little beastman and her eyes widened, thinking it was a human boy. Kale picked her up, but she struggled out of his arms. Wait, kid! Let me get another look! She grabbed the boy's collar and his hat fell off, revealing a pair of beast ears. Only then did Lily realize he wasn't human. The little beastman snarled at her. Kale glared at him, and the little one immediately whimpered and ran to his father. Kale asked the father, My female scared him. How can I compensate you? The father ruffled his son's head. It's fine. My kid is tough. Come on, let's go ride the bumper boats with Mom. Lily froze. His mom is here too? But she hadn't seen any female beastmen. Just then, Kale pulled out the leash harness again. It seemed she couldn't escape this torture after all. A troubling thought crossed her mind. After all this time, why haven't I seen a single female beastman or a human male? One day, she finally spotted a big, fat chicken, and her mouth started watering instantly. She pointed at the chicken, signaling she wanted meat. Kale quickly covered her mouth. You can't eat that meat. Eating animals is forbidden in the beast world. Lily was fuming. Yesterday you said you'd get me meat, and now you're taking it back. She angrily pushed him away. Kale could only try to coax her. Lily, be good. Roasted fruit is much tastier than meat. Lily spotted a container of hot soup on a vendor's counter, and then glanced at the eggs in a nearby basket. An idea struck her. She had Kale buy a cup of the soup, and when he wasn't looking, she snuck over to the basket and grabbed an egg. All she had to do was drop the egg in the hot soup, and she'd have a boiled egg. When Kale came back, Lily jumped out from behind the basket, snatched the soup from his hand, and dropped the egg inside. Then she saw the bubble balls in a nearby pool and her eyes lit up. The perfect spot for a picnic. She pointed at the bubbles and exclaimed, Play balls! Kale was surprised, thinking she wanted to be alone with him. He was thrilled, but was promptly kicked out of the bubble. He grabbed her foot, confused. What's wrong? Lily pouted, signaling she wanted to play by herself. Kale gave an awkward laugh and picked up the cup of soup. He felt something moving inside. There seems to be something in here. Lily's heart skipped a beat. She snatched the cup and zipped herself inside the bubble ball. Kale, afraid the soup would spill, told her to bring the cup out. But she just hugged it tightly and whimpered, refusing. He just chuckled and ruffled her hair. "You can take it in the ball, but don't open the lid." Lily nodded eagerly. The moment the bubble was sealed, she plunged into the pool with the cup. The cheetah beastman managing the attraction remarked, "Your female really knows how to have fun." Kale's lips curled into a proud smile. She's not just smart, she has her own opinions. She even picked the soup herself. But as he thought about the soup, something felt off. He looked up and saw Lily eating something inside the bubble. The cup only had soup in it. What was she eating? Then it hit him. She stole an egg from the basket. He and the manager immediately jumped into a boat and rowed toward her, Kale baring his teeth in panic. "Lily, stop!" Lily was drooling over the egg. Just as she was about to take a bite, Kale burst in. She quickly shoved the egg into her mouth. Kale pinched her cheeks. "Spit it out. Eating animals is illegal." Lily chewed stubbornly, refusing to open her mouth. In a moment of desperation, Kale opened his own mouth and sucked the egg out of hers. An incredible, delicious flavor spread across his tongue, and he froze. "This is amazing." The cheetah manager's jaw dropped. "Oh my God, that female is eating an egg." Kale quickly spat the egg out. "I sucked it out. She didn't swallow it." Lily's face turned beet red. "That dumb wolf kissed me again." Meanwhile, Bruno was carrying fruit home. When he overheard some beastmen whispering, Kale was feeding his female an egg at the amusement park. When animals had evolved into beastmen, many species had nearly gone extinct, which was why eating meat was forbidden. Bruno rushed over. "Kale fed Lily an egg. Is she okay?" "Bruno!" a familiar voice called out. It was Kale, carrying Lily. The bear was worried that eating the egg had harmed her. Kale explained, "I had the doctor check her. She's fine. I sucked it out in time, so she didn't eat much." Lily touched her lips, her face as red as a sunset. As soon as they got home, she locked herself in her room. She suddenly realized she had been too naive about her situation. She had thought that with Kale's affection, being a pet for life wouldn't be so bad. But his affection was still bound by the rules of the beast world. Not being able to eat meat was a small thing, but who knew what other bizarre rules existed? What if one day she was forced to breed? She curled up in a corner, completely lost. Outside her door, Kale told Bruno he was going to catch a chicken for Lily. Bruno's face turned pale. "Are you crazy? Eating animals is illegal." Kale said calmly, "I tasted the egg today. It was delicious. The chicken must be even better. If eating meat doesn't harm her, then I should give her what she wants." Bruno was skeptical and terrified. Lily heard their conversation from her room and was so moved she started to cry. She slowly opened the door. Kyle looked at her and made a solemn promise. "Tomorrow I'll go catch you a chicken." But 2 weeks passed and he hadn't caught a single feather. The chickens were hiding in a sugarcane forest, and the sugarcane there had become sentient and aggressive, attacking any creature that wasn't a chicken. It turned out the chickens ate the insects in the forest, and their droppings fertilized the sugarcane, creating a symbiotic relationship. Catching a chicken there was nearly impossible. Suddenly, Lily clutched her stomach, crying out in pain. "Oh no," she thought, "my period." Bruno smelled blood and immediately became alert. There were no other beastmen or humans around, which made the scent of blood very strange. Lily was on the verge of tears. Of all the times for this to happen. Bruno, fearing danger, wanted to take her to a more populated area, but Lily struggled fiercely. Being surrounded by a crowd would be social suicide. But with every movement, the bleeding worsened and the pain sapped her strength. Meanwhile, Kale had finally caught a chicken. He, too, smelled the blood on Lily. Bruno guessed it was a hallucinogenic plant making Lily feel unwell. Kale's heart clenched. "What? Give Lily to me?" When he took her, Bruno noticed blood on his own arm and thought Lily had injured her bottom. But Kale knew better. Lily's not hurt. She's just growing up. Back home, Kale gave her some medicine for her period, which eased the pain. Lily thought to herself, "This little wolf cub is surprisingly thoughtful." Kale noticed a hair on her lips and reached out to brush it away. His fingers accidentally touched her lips with a soft smack. Lily's cheeks flushed. "His hand is so warm, something feels strange." Kale stared at her intently. He thought he might have pinched her cheek too hard, and leaned in to check. "Let me see, did I hurt you?" Lily grabbed his wolf ear. A jolt went through Kale's entire body. Noticing his strange expression, she quickly let go and tried to dive under the covers. but he caught her wrist and pinned her to the bed. "Kyle, what are you doing? Let me go!" Lily was both shocked and flustered. Kale was burning up, beads of sweat dripping onto her face. His voice was hoarse. "Lily, I like you." Lily's heart pounded. She tried to tell herself he just meant it as a master likes a pet. But Kale swallowed hard, gently lifted her face, and kissed her. Lily's mind went blank. She suddenly shouted, "Bear! Bear!" Bruno rushed in at the sound of her voice. Lily pleaded with her eyes for help. Kale pulled her clothes straight. "Bruno, get out!" But the bear scolded him. "You're being too hasty. The book says you can't do this when a female is on her period." Lily's pupils dilated, her mind a chaotic mess. Kale calmed down and smiled. "I've waited this long, I don't mind waiting a few more days. I'll make Lily willingly become my mate." That sentence made Lily's brain shut down completely. No wonder she'd never seen a female beastman. No wonder Kale had been so overly familiar with her. She wasn't his pet at all, she was his intended mate. Kale shooed Bruno out and closed the door. Seeing she wasn't covered, he gently pulled the blanket over her and planted another kiss on her cheek. Lily was a whirlwind of emotions, completely unable to understand this world. The next morning, she saw Kale typing on a computer. Thinking she could learn more about the world, she went over, clamoring to see. Kale just smiled and pulled her into his lap. An idea sparked. She rubbed her stomach and whined, "Tummy hungry, want meat." Her adorable act was irresistible. Kale immediately got up to cook and told Bruno to bring the chicken. While the two beastmen were gone, Lily quickly checked the computer. The truth hit her like a lightning bolt. Over 2,000 years ago, humanity, facing environmental collapse, created a plant growth accelerant that went out of control, leading to an apocalypse. The survivors tried to genetically modify male animals to fight the plants, accidentally creating the powerful beastmen. Humans survived under the beastmen's protection, but the beastmen soon stopped taking orders. To ensure their own procreation, they began to domesticate human females and drive out human males, leaving them to fend for themselves. Over time, beastmen and humans could only produce male offspring. They found the last 3 remaining human males and used them for breeding. But due to inbreeding, modern human females suffered from severe intellectual disabilities and other genetic defects. Learning the truth, Lily completely broke down. After discovering she was Kale's mate, not his pet, Lily had a complete meltdown and bit his arm hard. Kale, thinking she'd seen a scary cartoon, quickly comforted her. "Don't cry, Lily. We'll go eat chicken right now." Just then, Bruno brought in the roasted chicken. Kale glanced at the charred, blackened bird in his hands and was speechless. "By my grandmother's ghost, did you cook this with dynamite?" Bruno quickly peeled off the burnt skin, revealing the meat underneath, and offered it to Lily. Kale was still skeptical. "It's cooked like that. Are you sure the inside is edible?" Lily picked up a salt shaker and sprinkled it evenly over the meat, her movements so practiced that both Kale and Bruno stared in amazement. "Lily really is a genius," Kale couldn't help but praise, tearing off a small piece to try. The moment it hit his tongue, an unparalleled savory flavor exploded in his mouth. Bruno, seeing his strange expression, thought something was wrong with the chicken. He grabbed it and took a huge bite, his face immediately lighting up. "Meat is this delicious." The two exchanged a knowing look and, completely forgetting about Lily, started devouring the chicken themselves. "Didn't you say you were making this for me? Why are you eating it all?" Lily was on the verge of tears, puffing out her cheeks in protest. Kale snapped back to reality and quickly handed her a large piece of meat, then ordered Bruno to go catch more animals. Bruno was confused. "We still have plenty of chickens at home." Kale shot him a look. "I want to experiment. Maybe there's meat out there even tastier than chicken." Lily paused. Did I just open up a whole new world of cuisine for this dumb wolf? With him as an ally, researching normal food would be much easier. She was about to tell him about being from another world, but Kale noticed her gaze and asked, "What's wrong?" "Do you have something to tell me, Lily?" The words died on her lips. A sly grin spread across Kyle's face as he slowly extended a wolfish claw. Lily shrank back. "Don't you come near me!" But he only gently wiped a bit of grease from her face. Lily let out a sigh of relief. Just as Kale was about to go hunting, Bruno suddenly spoke up. "We should probably hold off on hunting for a bit. The chieftain's challenge is in a few days and you need to prepare." Lily was delighted. More entertainment to watch. Faced with the tough competition, Kale looked completely confident without a hint of fear. "You big dummy, while I'm gone, don't take Lily out casually. The smarter the female, the more we need to protect her. She froze. Looks like I have to keep up the act. That night, just as Lily fell asleep, the sugarcane outside began to grow wildly. The next morning, she was woken by the noise and was shocked to see the house surrounded by a dense wall of sugarcane. Bruno quickly reassured her. Don't be afraid. The barrier weakened ahead of schedule yesterday, causing the sugarcane to grow like crazy. Lily was confused. Bruno, remembering a tip from a book that said you could win a female's favor by talking about things she's interested in, began to explain. When the beast world was first born, most of the land was covered by plants. Beastmen had to constantly fight them to survive. After generations of exploration, we finally found a way to combat the plants and sealed away the most dangerous ones. When a seal weakens, like now, the plants go on a rampage. Seeing no reaction from Lily, Bruno thought he'd made it too complicated. Lily just gave a non-committal, "Oh," and pretended to be deep in thought. Bruno was amazed. Wow, Lily is so smart. She understood all that. Lily wanted to facepalm. Why did I say oh? I almost blew my cover. She quickly played dumb, sticking her butt in the air and crowing like a rooster. Ooh, ooh, chicken poop! Bruno was completely baffled. He gently pinched her cheek and gave an awkward laugh. So Lily didn't understand after all. I'll just tell her a simpler story. And so the big black bear started rambling on about trivial matters related to chicken poop. Lily was so embarrassed she could have dug a 3-bedroom apartment with her toes. Suddenly, a series of roars from nearby broke the awkward silence. It was the day of the annual Chieftain's Challenge. Bruno carried Lily to the arena, arriving just in time for Kale's match against Cyrus. Lily's heart tightened. That bad lion will probably try to cheat and hurt Kale. Bruno lifted her onto his shoulders so she could see the stage. According to the rules, both competitors had to remove their clothes and personal items to prevent hidden weapons. While Kale was scanning the crowd for Lily, Cyrus silently stepped onto the stage and, while Kyle was distracted, whipped out his belt. Just as Kale spotted Lily, he heard a whistling sound and dodged just in time. Below, Lily and Bruno held their breath. Kale was furious, but Cyrus just looked smug. Unable to stand it any longer, Kale shifted into his beast form. Cyrus continued to taunt him. The battle was about to begin. The beastmen in the stands noted that Cyrus, as the chieftain's nephew, was already using psychological tactics. But the chieftain just snorted. What psychological tactics? With the power gap between him and Kale, the angrier Kale gets, the worse Cyrus will lose. Just then, Lily shouted from the crowd, "Go, dumb wolf, you got this!" The chieftain was stunned. It was the first time he had ever heard a female cheer for a male. Hearing Lily's encouragement, Kale's confidence soared, and he lunged, sinking his teeth into Cyrus. Lily excitedly waved her little hands. "You're amazing, dumb wolf! Take down the bad lion!" The other beastmen were astonished, all remarking on how smart Lily was. But Bruno shot them a death glare that made them wet their pants and turn away. Feeling the arena was too hot and unsafe, he took Lily to the female's resting area. A cool breeze washed over her. It's so crowded and open. Why does it feel like there's air conditioning? Is this some new Beast World tech? Meanwhile, on stage, Kale and Cyrus were locked in a fierce battle. When Lily saw Kale get slashed across the neck, her heart ached. Bruno reassured her that Kyle was much stronger and the scratch was nothing. Kale moved like a blur around Cyrus, who couldn't track him. Seizing an opportunity, he launched a fatal attack, biting through Cyrus's neck. The bad lion writhed in pain, screaming, "I give up, let me go!" The crowd erupted in cheers. Kale had won. He shifted back to his human form and trotted over to Lily. Lily quickly closed her eyes, relieved that Bruno had brought clothes for him. After several rounds, the top 10 challengers were selected. The chieftain leaped down from his platform, and with a whoosh shed his outer garments. Who's first? The 10 challengers, who had just been so boastful, immediately lost their nerve. No one stepped forward. Cyrus sneered, "A bunch of cowards." A beastman next to him suggested he go first, but Cyrus just punched him. "Who are you to tell me what to do?" Seeing no one else would go, Kale stepped up. Lily worried that going first would be a disadvantage. Kale ruffled her hair. "Don't worry, I'll be fine." He then ran to the challenge platform and, shifting into his beast form, let out a long howl. The chieftain smirked and his own clothes tore apart as he transformed into a massive lion, twice Kale's size. Lily gasped, "What a huge lion!" Kale knew he couldn't win in a direct confrontation and decided to wait for his opponent to make the first move. They circled each other until finally the chieftain attacked. Lily noticed something. The chieftain's spiritual energy was radiating outward with his movements, while Kale's formed a protective barrier around him. Kale used a powerful move, teleporting around his opponent. But the chieftain saw it coming. Too slow! As the claws swiped, Kale dodged and leaped, pushing his speed to the limit to bite the chieftain's neck. The chieftain dodged, and the platform was smashed, leaving a giant crater. The crowd was amazed. Kale is so strong! The chieftain might be replaced! Only Lily saw the truth. Kale was using all his strength, and his spiritual energy was weakening, while the chieftain was clearly holding back. Kale fought with increasing ferocity, chasing the great lion and nipping at his hindquarters. The crowd was shocked. Is the chieftain getting weaker? He's being chased. Lily tried to focus her spiritual energy to sense theirs, but was distracted by the noise. Bruno, thinking she was scared, covered her ears. Only then could she see clearly that while Kyle seemed to have the upper hand, his spiritual energy was fading, while the chieftain's was much more solid. The great lion continued to dodge. Kale roared in frustration, gathering his spiritual energy for one final blow. The chieftain's eyes narrowed, and he deliberately let Kale hit him in the eye, then fell to the ground pretending to be in pain. As Kale lunged, the great lion's expression turned vicious. Just as he was about to strike, Lily screamed, "Don't!" Hearing her cry, Kale teleported away just in time, narrowly escaping death. Kale was ambushed by his opponent and seriously injured. The great lion saw his chance and moved in for the kill. Kale knew a direct fight would be suicide, so he lowered his front legs and whimpered, the signal for surrender. Everyone agreed it was a wise move. Lily looked at the wounds on his body, her heart aching. But the great lion had no intention of letting him go and lunged at Kale viciously. Kale sensed the killing intent. Lily knew this was bad. She grabbed a nearby piece of sugarcane and threw it, and it landed perfectly in the great lion's mouth. The crowd was stunned, their mouths agape. Bruno immediately rushed onto the stage, blocking Kyle. "Kale has surrendered! The match is over, chieftain!" The great lion spat out the sugarcane, having won the match. The crowd erupted in cheers. Kale knew that Lily had just saved him. He was sure he had heard her warning, but he couldn't understand how she could have sensed the danger. This went beyond just being smart. Very few beastmen in the entire world could do that. Who was Lily, really? Just then, Lily climbed onto the railing and shouted. Kyle was startled. He leaped off the stage and rushed over to her. "Lily, be careful, I'll help you down." Lily threw her arms around him, terrified of being alone again. She finally had a home, someone who was good to her, and she didn't want to lose it. Whether Kyle was her master or her mate, she accepted it, as long as he would always be with her. Kale gently patted her back. "Don't be afraid. Beastman duels are always like this. It's just a scratch on my back." Lily touched the deep gash and started babbling emotionally, trying to say, "You call this a scratch? You dumb wolf, you were almost split in two." Kale could see she was worried about him and affectionately nuzzled her forehead. Lily grabbed his wolf ears, biting and pulling. "Dumb wolf, don't you ever do anything so dangerous again." The beastmen below thought Lily was having another mental breakdown. The other 9 challengers forfeited, and Leo successfully defended his title as chieftain. The crowd went wild. A glint of malice flashed in Leo's eyes. "I was so close to eliminating that threat. It's all that female's fault." Cyrus rushed over to suck up to him, but the chieftain just held up a hand to silence him and turned to Kale with false sincerity. "Brother Wolf, I'm sorry about that. My energy got a little out of control. I almost killed you by mistake." Lily wanted to slap him. That was no mistake, that was attempted murder. Seeing the chieftain act like a benevolent leader, she couldn't stand it anymore and tugged on Kale's tail, trying to leave. The chieftain glared at her and offered her a piece of sugarcane. "You threw this, didn't you? What an interesting little thing. Did you sense the danger and want to protect your male?" Kale, noticing the chieftain's suspicion, quickly explained, "She just gets excited easily and likes to throw things." He looked at Lily, his mind full of questions. How can she be so smart? Feeling his stare, Lily looked down and pouted. She then took the sugarcane and threw it at the chieftain, babbling while silently cursing. "It's all this bad lion's fault." Kale froze. "Oh dear, she's throwing things again." The chieftain caught the sugarcane with a half smile. "Is it really just overexcitement? I'm not so sure." He thought to himself, "This female reminds me of the prehistoric human females described in the history books." Outwardly, he just smiled. It's fine. It's normal for females to be mischievous. but he was already plotting how to take Lily from Kale. As the crowd dispersed, Lily noticed a wishing well. She expected to see turtles or koi fish, but when she got closer, she was shocked to see it was filled with transparent crystals. She had been wondering how to get more crystals, and this was like a gift from heaven. But the edge was too high for her to reach. The moment her hand touched the water, she thought she saw her mother's face. Bruno pulled out his Guide to Attracting Females, thinking Lily was interested in the well. He was about to explain the crystals when Lily fell into the water with a splash. "Lily, be careful!" In her daze, it felt like a large hand was reaching for her. The water in the well suddenly started to surge. The big black bear grabbed her clothes. "Lily, get out! You're still on your period. You'll get sick if you stay in the cold water." Lily pointed at the crystals in the well. "Want stones?" Bruno handed her two. "These are for wishes. You can't take them." Lily wanted more. It was now or never. She immediately turned on the charm. "Bruno, get them for me!" But the big bear firmly refused, afraid of bad karma. Lily was exasperated. Why is this big dummy so superstitious? She sighed and resorted to her ultimate move. She walked over to him, grabbed his collar, and planted a firm kiss on his cheek. Out of nowhere, Kale witnessed it all. A wave of jealousy washed over him, and the temperature around him dropped. The great lion chieftain, standing nearby, taunted, "Tsk, tsk. Your female is being so affectionate with your teammate in public. She has no shame." Kale's eyes narrowed, and he ground his teeth, his gaze like daggers aimed at Bruno. The big black bear shivered and quickly let go of Lily. She took the opportunity to jump back into the wishing well, splashing him with a mischievous grin. "Did my kiss scare you, stupid? Let's see you catch me now." Seeing Bruno standing there, trembling, she wondered why he was shaking so badly. The water wasn't that cold. Bruno, however, was touching his hot cheek, his voice trembling. "Lily, I like you too." Lily froze. Why would he say that? His eyes held the same look as Kale's. Isn't he just the nanny? She didn't dare think further. She took a deep breath and plunged her head under the water. A terrifying thought, connected to her not being a pet and Kale not being her master, surfaced. Could Bruno be my mate too? Her eyes snapped open and she shot out of the water. "No, I can't accept this. I only want Kale as my mate." Kyle strode over and lifted her from the well, frowning. "Who told you could play in the holy water? You'll get sick." Bruno tried to help wring out her wet clothes but was shoved aside by Kale. "How could you let this happen? Go to the administration bureau and dissolve our family relationship." Lily was bewildered. "You need to register as a household member to be a nanny? Or is it—" Just then, the great lion approached with a fake smile. "Brother Wolf, calm down. If Lily kissed him, it means she likes him." Lily was speechless. "Shut up, you bad lion. No one will think you're mute if you don't talk." The chieftain advised them to get along, saying they were all one big, happy family. Lily felt a cold sweat break out, nearly fainting on the spot. For the chieftain's sake, Kale dropped the matter. Lily silently vowed to find out Bruno's true identity. She had a handful of crystals from the well in her pocket. Kale wanted to put them back, but the chieftain said, "Let her keep them. They're no use sitting there." Cyrus sidled up. "The little female is soaked. Be careful she doesn't catch a cold." Lily shot him a dirty look, and noticed his own mate, the heavyset Patty, being overly familiar with her nanny. It was definitely not a master-servant relationship. Cyrus invited them to his house. Kale was about to refuse, but Lily spoke up. "Let's go!" Cyrus was overjoyed and quickly led the way. At his house, Lily tried to ask about Patty and her nanny. But Patty had the intellect of a 5-year-old and was only interested in food. Just as she was getting frustrated, Patty tried to snatch the fruit in front of her. Lily quickly protected it. Cyrus laughed heartily and tried to drag Kale away for a sparring match. Kale refused. "We're leaving as soon as Lily is done eating," Cyrus insisted. As they were arguing, they saw Lily feeding Patty fruit, cooing at her like a child. The little heavyset girl clamored for more. Lily shot Kale a look, signaling she wanted to be alone with Patty. Kale smiled knowingly and stood up. "All right, I'll go spar with you." With only Lily and Patty in the room, Lily snatched the fruit from Patty's hand. "If you want to eat, answer my question. Are those beastmen outside your nannies, or are they your mates like Cyrus?" Patty just stared blankly out the window, clearly not understanding. Disappointed, Lily handed the fruit back. Just as she was thinking of another plan, the kangaroo beastman came in. Patty waddled over to him with her fruit, and he smiled, scooped her up, and planted a kiss on her. The gesture was intimate and natural. Lily's eyes nearly popped out of her head. That's how mates interact. So Patty's nanny was really her mate, which meant her own Bruno. An unacceptable conclusion formed in her mind. Bruno is probably my mate too. She locked herself in the bathroom, her mind a tangled mess. The thought that, due to the scarcity of females in the beast world, she might end up with more and more nannies and servants made her want to scream. No, I will never accept this. Suddenly, Cyrus's frantic roar came from outside the door. Who's in the bathroom? Get out now, Patty needs to go. Kale walked over. Have you seen our Lily? Cyrus paused. Don't tell me your female locked herself in there? He turned to get the spare key, but then they heard the toilet flush. That doesn't sound like Lily. What female knows how to use a toilet and flush it? Before he could finish, the bathroom door clicked open and Lily walked out, her face expressionless. Cyrus's jaw dropped. You use the toilet by yourself? And your clothes are perfectly clean, not a single stain? Kale, however, remained calm. He had long known Lily was no ordinary female. He said simply, I taught her how to use the toilet. Cyrus sneered, You taught a female that? You're just lazy. The words were barely out of his mouth when the little heavyset girl in his arms, Patty, suddenly wet herself, soaking him. Lily shot Cyrus a glare. Look what you did! You made Patty hold it for so long she had an accident. Is this what you call taking care of her? The thought of being treated like an infant, of having someone manage her every bodily function, made her skin crawl. She turned and stormed away. Kale looked at Patty, who was now surrounded by beastmen changing her clothes and feeding her fruit, and frowned thoughtfully. Even the most intelligent female in the city was completely helpless. Just how smart was Lily? Dumb wolf, let's go, Lily called back to him. Kale snapped out of his thoughts and smiled. Coming? That night, the city echoed with the sound of drums for a bonfire festival. Lily was as excited as a child, pulling a few fluffy cheetah cubs into a dance. Bruno watched her, full of life, and leaned over to Kale. Once Lily's period is over, will you two be having a cub? A happy smile spread across Kale's face. She's been with the tribe for over a month. The center has been tracking our progress. If she doesn't get pregnant soon, there could be trouble. 8 days later, Lily's period finally ended. It had been incredibly painful, but eating a few crystals had helped, though she hadn't felt the same surge of spiritual energy as the first time. She made a mental note to find more crystals. That morning, Bruno brought her roasted fruit. Seeing she still looked pale, he said, I'm going out of the city today to find some restorative fruits for you. Wait, Kale said, stopping him. After Lily finishes her breakfast, I'll go with you. Lily's heart skipped a beat, then filled with glee. I get to be home alone again. She couldn't help but giggle to herself. Kale raised an eyebrow. What, does Lily want to come too? Lily immediately put on an act, rubbing her eyes and letting out a huge yawn. Sleepy, want to sleep? Kale saw right through her little scheme and burst out laughing, his abs tensing. Lily eyed him suspiciously. What's so funny, you dumb wolf? He reached out and ruffled her hair, gently pinching her nose. If you're tired, then rest at home. With that, he and Bruno left. As they walked, Bruno was still worrying. Is it dangerous to leave Lily home alone? A mysterious smile played on Kyle's lips. Don't worry, I'm fully prepared. He told Bruno to wait for him in the forest and then headed toward the surveillance center. Back at the house, Lily made sure they were gone, then transformed into a little wildcat. She chugged a glass of iced soda and smacked her lips in satisfaction. Woohoo! It's my time to rule! Finally able to speak freely after holding it in for so long, she even started singing at the top of her lungs. Yo-yo, check it out! Kale is a big dumb cat! She slid down the banister and did a little victory dance in the bathroom. Using the toilet without closing the door is the best. She had no idea that a tiny camera was hidden in a potted plant in the living room, broadcasting her every move to Kale's terminal. She built a simple trap in the yard with a basket and quickly caught a chicken. While plucking it, she got covered in feathers, looking like a little calico cat, but she was having the time of her life. At the surveillance center, Kale set down his coffee, his eyes wide with amazement. He knew Lily was smart, but he never imagined she could catch a chicken so cleverly. For centuries, beastmen had relied on brute force for hunting, but her method was efficient and effortless, as if she was born with the knowledge. What shocked him even more was how she prepared the chicken, plucking, gutting, and marinating it with a skill that seemed second nature, a technique not found in any Beast World culinary records. Soon, the oven dinged and a golden brown roasted chicken emerged. The skin was glistening and crispy, and the aroma filled the house. Lily's mouth watered, and she took a huge bite. Hot, hot! She fanned her mouth, nearly burning her lips, but she couldn't bring herself to let go, eating until her face was shiny with grease. Watching her on the screen, Kale couldn't help but swallow. She's enjoying that so much, he chuckled. I'll have to get a bite when I get back. After eating her fill, Lily patted her round belly and opened the refrigerator. When she pulled out a bright red, completely raw dragon fruit, the expression on Kale's face changed drastically. Oh no, he thought. He'd forgotten to tell Lily a crucial detail. In the beastman world, raw dragon fruit was poisonous. By the time Kale burst through the door, she had eaten the entire thing. She licked her lips, ready to act cute and play innocent, but Kale's face was pale. His heart was in his throat as he strode toward her. Before he could even speak, Lily's stomach let out a loud rumble. Her abdomen swelled up at a visible rate, inflating like a round balloon. Lily, does your stomach hurt? Kale urgently scooped her up. I'm taking you to the hospital right now. Lily smiled awkwardly and waved her hands, signaling that her stomach didn't hurt. She had just eaten too fast and was bloated. She didn't need a hospital. But Kale knew that the toxicity of a raw dragon fruit acted incredibly fast. If they got to the hospital within 10 minutes, they might still be able to save her. Without another word, he bolted out the door with her in his arms. At the entrance of the Beast Hospital, Lily's dedicated doctor was already waiting. Kale, with his long strides, rushed straight into the emergency room. Lily was feeling nauseous from being bounced around. Her stomach was getting tighter by the second. When the doctor saw her, he gasped. I haven't seen her in a few days. How did her stomach get so big? Upon learning she had eaten a raw dragon fruit, everyone's faces drained of color. They hurriedly wheeled her into the resuscitation room. As the medical staff prepared to pump her stomach, Lily broke out in a cold sweat. Raw dragon fruit is poisonous? Why do I need my stomach pumped? She was about to resist when a sudden, sharp pain tore through her abdomen. The dragon fruit seeds were rapidly growing and spreading inside her. Lily curled up in agony. She coughed up a mouthful of green plant-tinged fluid. She rolled around on the hospital bed. The doctor handed her a pill. Take this to induce vomiting first. Holding her nose, she swallowed the foul-smelling pill. The next second, she began to vomit violently, feeling like she was going to throw up her entire stomach. Looking at the wriggling green plant stems in the bucket, Lily was completely bewildered. After clearing the seeds from her stomach, the doctor looked at Kale suspiciously. Are you sure she only ate it 10 minutes ago? Judging by this growth rate, it's been at least half an hour. Kale frowned. He knew the roasted chicken she ate earlier must have accelerated the seed's growth, but he absolutely could not let that secret get out. He had no choice but to lie, claiming he had misremembered the time. The doctor was furious. How could you misremember something so important? He then suggested Kale find a few more team members to help take care of Lily. Kale's face darkened. That is none of your business, he growled in a low voice. I am her dedicated doctor. Her health is my business. Inside the ward, Lily lay groaning on the bed. I'm so hungry. If I had known raw fruit would sprout in my stomach, I never would have eaten it. Kale walked in, his voice soft. You can't eat anything just yet. When we get home, I'll make you some fruit puree. Lily shook her head vigorously. No fruit, no fruit. Kale gave an awkward smile, secretly blaming himself for testing her limits. Just then, the terminal on his wrist chimed. It was a message from the Beastmen Development Center. An inspector was coming tomorrow, and he needed to be prepared. Lily mumbled, asking her dumb wolf what was going on. Kale comforted her. It's nothing. They just saw you were hospitalized and want to come by the house to check on things. They want to persuade me to find more males to take care of you. Lily suddenly sat up from the bed. No! A small smile tugged at Kale's lips. Why not? Wouldn't you like a few more males to dote on you? Like that big muscular bear? The thought of the big, furry Bruno gave Lily goosebumps. My tastes aren't that extreme, okay? Kale was secretly thrilled. So Lily really does care about me. He affectionately ruffled her hair. For your devotion, I promise I won't add any new team members. Lily rolled her eyes. This narcissistic gray wolf is so shameless. She swatted his hand away and deliberately tried to provoke him. I like the bear. Kale's heart instantly plummeted. Right at that moment, Bruno burst into the room. How is Lily? Ever since she learned that Bruno was also considered her mate, Lily had felt awkward around him. But she had to admit he was an excellent caretaker who kept their home absolutely spotless. Just as they returned home from the hospital, the doorbell rang. The inspector from the city center had arrived. Bruno let him in. The inspector waved a hand dismissively. No rush. First, I need to evaluate your living environment. He inspected the courtyard. He inspected the bedroom. He inspected the living room and the kitchen. After his rounds, he nodded. The living environment is quite suitable for a female. Kale was already losing patience. Since there are no issues, please leave. But the inspector's face hardened. Who said there are no issues? Your team is too small. You must add more members. He tapped his wrist terminal, projecting a screen showing several candidate beastmen. There was a fierce boar beastman with huge tusks and a creepy, drooling hound beastman. There was also a chest-thumping gorilla beastman and an incredibly ugly mandrill beastman. Lily felt like she had been struck by lightning. Are these beastmen here to ward off evil spirits? They're terrifying. The inspector urged Kale to make a decision quickly. If you really can't choose, you can take all 4. Terrified, Lily buried her face in Kale's chest. She would rather have 4 Brunos than any of these guys. Kale shielded her behind him, his voice dangerously low. Turn off the terminal. You're scaring Lily. We don't need new team members. The inspector tried to lecture him. Don't be so selfish. 2 males can't adequately care for a female. Yesterday's incident is a bloody lesson. Kale promised nothing like that would ever happen again. But the inspector wouldn't let it go, insisting she needed to marry more mates. Kale was tired of talking and ordered Bruno to see their guest out. The inspector brought up the Beast World's laws, claiming it was mandatory. Kale sneered. The law states that a female is only forced to take more mates if she hasn't gotten pregnant after 3 months of marriage. Lily and I have only been together for a little over a month. What rule are you invoking? Or are you just abusing your power to force these rejects onto us? The inspector tried to argue, but Bruno physically tossed him out the door. Furious, the inspector yelled back, I'll be back in 2 months. If Lily isn't pregnant by then, she'll have to choose from my list. Lily felt like this world was completely absurd. She didn't hate being with Kale, and she was even glad he had brought her home. But getting pregnant within 2 months? That was impossible. Kale saw through her worries. He gently brushed a strand of hair behind her ear, speaking with the confidence of a top warrior. Don't be afraid. I won't let those guys set foot in our home. When his fingertips brushed against her strands, a ticklish sensation ran down Lily's neck, and her ears instantly turned red. Thinking the room was too hot, Kale gently pinched her ear. Lily covered her ears and shouted, You dumb wolf! Do you even know how to brush hair? Kale froze for a second, then burst into a dazzling smile, his perfectly sculpted abs flexing as he laughed. I'll stop teasing you. Come here, let me brush it properly. As he brushed her hair, it felt like they were a real married couple. Lily suddenly opened her eyes. It had just been a wonderful dream. Remembering the vivid images from her dream, she felt so embarrassed she wanted to sink into the floor. Seeing her awake, Kale brought over a few new outfits he had prepared. Lily was picking one out, but looking at his handsome, slightly wicked face made her inexplicably frustrated. She tossed the new clothes aside and stubbornly put on her old pet uniform. Kale was completely bewildered. He rubbed his head. What does Lily actually like? Just as Lily wanted to put some distance between them, a familiar voice called out from outside. Her eyes lit up. It's Patty! She eagerly trotted out the door. Outside, Cyrus was arguing with Bruno, his face red with anger. Didn't we agree to visit often? It's only been a few days and you're turning me away? Bruno remained unmoved. Cyrus then brought out his heavy-set female, Patty. As they argued, Lily jogged over, waving a piece of sugarcane. Patty immediately opened her arms wide and ran to meet her. Lily handed the sugarcane to Patty. Kale, standing nearby, said flatly, Lily is busy today. She can't play with Patty. Hearing this, Lily grabbed Patty's hand and ran off, disappearing in a flash. Kale was thoroughly confused. What's wrong with her? Cyrus laughed smugly. See, look how close Lily and Patty are. They should spend more time together. Kale clenched his fists, his eyes flashing with fire. I think you're asking for a beating. It wasn't until nightfall that Cyrus and his group finally left. Looking at the empty courtyard, Kale suddenly realized why Lily had been acting so strangely today. She even wanted Patty to stay over. Is she avoiding me? Lily had finally made up her mind to tell Kale her deepest secret. I'm not like the human females here. I can speak normally and my intelligence is perfectly fine. When Kale didn't respond for a long time, Lily's heart sank. Oh no? Is he going to hand me over to be researched? She secretly clenched her fists, planning to knock him out and escape if things went south. Just then, Kale snapped out of his daze. Without a word, he pulled her into a tight embrace. I won't. I will never hand my Lily over to any beastmen. Once I take the chieftain's seat, you'll be completely free to be yourself. Lily's eyes grew red and she hugged him back. I believe you, you big dumb wolf. But you're hugging me too tight. Kale chuckled softly. You're hugging me just as tight, aren't you? The young couple held each other, happy smiles lighting up their faces. Kale handed her an apple. Where did you live before this? Lily paused. Fragments of her past flooded her mind. The moment her parents abandoned her. The agonizing days in the sanatorium. Every memory was lined with thorns. She didn't want to touch them. She only whispered, I don't really remember. Kale gently stroked her cheek, his voice incredibly tender. If you don't remember, let it go. They must be painful memories. It's better to forget them. His bright wolf eyes sparkled. We're going to live a happy life together. Lily's face flushed. She handed the apple back to him. Let's eat it together. You have to taste the joy of sharing. Kale didn't hesitate to take a massive bite. He felt like the happiest wolf in the world, his very muscles seemingly cheering for him. Seeing his goofy expression, Lily felt a sweet warmth in her heart. She couldn't resist leaning in to give him a sweet kiss. The next day, Lily ended up in the hospital again. The doctor pointed at Kale and scolded him harshly. Did you not take the basic courses on caring for a female? Kale patted his chest, guaranteeing he had taken all the classes and memorized the textbook. But then he paused, rubbed his chin, and realized he had actually skipped the most crucial chapters. The doctor was fuming. That's the core material. Go download it and study it right now. After examining Lily, the doctor's expression turned grave. Her physical characteristics are different from other females. They're much closer to the traits of ancient human females. Everyone was shocked. Lily panicked, terrified her identity as a transmigrator had been exposed. The doctor, however, grew excited. This must be atavism. Females have been degrading generation after generation. Atavism is incredible news. We might be able to find the key to improving female genetics through Lily. Lily's heart clenched. Dr. Bao wants to lock me up as a lab rat. Kale's face darkened, his tone freezing cold. Making assumptions about my Lily based on some ancient text? I absolutely forbid it. Bruno instantly stood by Kale's side. The overwhelming aura radiating from the two powerful beastmen made Dr. Bao break out in a cold sweat. Dr. Bao quickly explained, I didn't plan on telling anyone, that's why I sent the nurses away to tell you in private. I just want to study her independently. This could benefit the entire beast world. I don't want to miss this chance. Kale thought for a moment and tentatively agreed, but laid down strict conditions. It could never impact Lily's health, and none of her data could ever be leaked. Dr. Bao nodded frantically, and the two shook hands to seal the deal. Back home, Bruno suggested, should we just get rid of Dr. Bao? Kale shook his head. Even if we eliminate him, another doctor would just take over. Bruno was anxious. But what if the center takes Lily back for research? Kale's eyes were resolute and calm. Once I defeat Leo and become chieftain, no beastman will ever dare lay a finger on Lily. Early the next morning, Lily lay on her bed, her entire body sore. Wanting to recover faster, she pulled a crystal from under her pillow and swallowed it without hesitation. The pain instantly subsided. Just then, Bruno pushed the door open. The captain went out for training. Let me change your bandages. Lily remembered Kale's warning. I can't fully trust that bear yet. Some beastmen will take advantage of a female when the captain isn't around. Alarm bells rang in her head. As Bruno approached, Lily suddenly screamed, No! Bruno froze, then softened his voice. Be good, Lily. We need to clean and bandage the wound quickly, or it will get infected. Lily slapped his hand away, signaling she could do it herself. Right at that moment, the terminal on Bruno's wrist beeped. Kale's angry voice echoed out, You big dummy! What are you trying to do to Lily? I just wanted to help Lily wash up and clean her wound. Bruno quickly explained. Through the hologram, Kale waved his hand. No need. I installed an auto-cleaning function on the toilet. Lily can use the bathroom and clean up all by herself. Bruno nodded. Wolf! Blood! Blood! Bruno quickly reassured her. That's plant sap, not blood. Don't worry. He looked at Lily's panicked expression, a pang of envy striking his heart. If I were hurt, would she care that much about me? Later, Bruno went to the kitchen to boil some eggs. Lily walked over holding a bowl of raw egg mixture, signaling for him to steam it. Bruno sniffed it curiously. You want me to heat up this egg water for you to drink? Is this even edible? Lily nodded eagerly, making yummy noises. Bruno took the bowl. All right, I'll steam it for you. Before long, a delicious, fragrant bowl of steamed egg custard was ready. The smooth, tender custard glistened. Lily's mouth watered. Bruno looked thoroughly confused. How did this egg water turn solid after heating? Lily chuckled internally. Never had this before, huh? She scooped a spoonful of custard, placed it inside half an eggshell, and handed it to Bruno to try. Bruno's heart started hammering. Lily is giving me food! Is she confessing her love to me? When he didn't react for a long time, Lily grew impatient, grunting and waving her arm. My arm is getting tired. What are you staring at? Take it. Bruno took a bite and began loudly crunching on the eggshell along with the custard, eating it with absolute delight. Lily was speechless. I told you to eat the custard, not the shell, and definitely don't suck on my fingers. Watching him happily chew the shell, she rolled her eyes. What a weirdo. Bruno stared intently at Lily, his eyes full of emotion. This is the second time you've given me food. I still kept that piece of camphor wood you gave me last time. Lily was stunned. It was just a small piece of wood. He actually kept it this whole time? Does giving food mean something special in the beast world? Bruno gave a goofy laugh. Females only give food to the males they like. I didn't expect Lily to confess her feelings to me after only knowing me for a short time. Lily panicked internally. I only gave you that because I felt sorry for you. She had just wanted to do a nice thing, completely unaware of this bizarre cultural norm. Now Bruno had entirely misunderstood. That night, Lily tossed and turned, unable to sleep. She needed to figure out a way to let Bruno down gently, making him give up without hurting him. Just then, a familiar voice came from outside. Kale was back. Hearing he was injured, Lily rushed out of her room immediately. Kale and Bruno were both stunned. She actually came out on her own? Lily hurried over and began bandaging Kyle's wound, her eyes full of distress. Kale just grinned. It's nothing. Getting hurt during training is totally normal. He pulled out a red crystal. With this, I can quickly break through and materialize my energy. But Lily spoke sharply. What do you mean it's nothing? Going deep into the mountains alone is too dangerous. Kale affectionately rubbed his forehead against hers. Once I defeat Leo and become chieftain, you won't have to work so hard pretending anymore. A few days later, Lily threw a leash harness on the ground in front of Kale, demanding angrily, Spit it out. What is this? What are you planning? Kyle laughed awkwardly. This is for me to use. The interaction guide says using this prevents the female from getting hurt. Normal beastmen only need a 4-piece set, but wolves need an extra one tied around the waist. I didn't expect that big dummy Bruno to mistakenly think it was for you. Lily rolled her eyes. Beastmen have such weird kinks. She grabbed the instruction manual next to it and ripped it to shreds. You big bad wolf, do you still want to treat me like a pet? She raised her little fists and started pummeling his muscular chest. Kale's eyes narrowed playfully. He pulled her into his arms and dramatically cried out, Ouch! Ouch! That hurts! Lily hurt me! You have to make it up to me! Lily immediately stopped, a little flustered. No way! I didn't even hit you hard! Kale smirked and leaned close to her ear. Just teasing you. He pulled out a bottle of softening ointment. I will never let you get hurt again. Lily quickly stepped back. You're heavily injured. You should get some proper rest. But Kale grabbed her hand and flexed his arm, showing off his solid muscles, his eyes full of anticipation. My body is perfectly fine. She was officially mates with Kyle the Grey Wolf, and they had their goofy bear nanny, Bruno. Remembering her embarrassing actions from the night before, Lily felt so ashamed she wanted to crawl under a rock. Teary-eyed, she bolted out the door and ran smack into Bruno. With a loud thud, she crashed right into his rock-hard 28-pack abs. Her head rang. Kale rushed over to catch her and scolded, You big dummy, what's wrong with you? Standing there like a wooden post and watching Lily crash into you. Bruno quickly apologized. Lily, I'm so sorry, my abs are as hard as iron. Did I hurt you? Lily's face turned redder than a sunset. She stomped away angrily and slammed her bedroom door shut. Kale and Bruno exchanged bewildered looks. Lily is mad, that must have really hurt. The next day, Kale took her shopping at the mall. As they walked, he said, Getting out and walking around should make you feel better, right? I knew you only lost your temper because you were cooped up at home. Lily glared at him. You dumb wolf, you don't understand anything at all. Kale had to deploy his ultimate superpower, buying absolutely everything in sight. After coaxing and playing with her for half the day, Lily's anger finally subsided a bit. The two went to the resting area, but two beastmen were blocking the aisle. Kale roared, "Move! Don't block the way!" The beastman was initially arrogant. "Who do you think you are, talking to me like that?" But when he looked up and saw it was Kale, he was scared out of his wits and ran away faster than a rabbit. Lily sighed inwardly. Is Kale really that terrifying? "Lily, tell me, why were you really angry?" Kale asked softly. Lily paused, then whispered, "Becoming mates with a beastman? I just find it really embarrassing. And when I think about potentially having cubs in the future, I don't know what to do." Kale leaned in close and gently stroked her cheek. "That's the most normal thing in the beast world. But if you're not willing, I will never force you. I only want Lily to be happy." A small smile touched Lily's lips, and her anger vanished completely. Just then, the plants behind them began to rustle and shake. Kale's eyes sharpened. "Danger!" As soon as the words left his mouth, the plants burst from the ground, instantly obliterating the entire resting area. Luckily, Kale's reflexes were razor sharp. He scooped Lily up and dodged, otherwise they would have been buried under a mountain of vines. These plants had been domesticated. Nothing like this had ever happened before. Kale knew something was very wrong. A major disaster must have occurred at the sacrificial altar. They rushed toward the altar area. Even from a distance, Lily felt a suffocating, oppressive aura wash over her. She clung tightly to Kale. "Is the seal really failing?" Kale set her down in a safe zone. "Lily, wait here. I need to go transport some fuel. I'll come get you as soon as I'm done." Lily urged him to be careful and put his safety first. Their fingers intertwined. Kale felt a surge of warmth in his chest, pressed a quick kiss to her lips, and ran toward the altar. After Kale left, Lily suddenly heard the drip-drop of water. She turned and realized there was a holy water pool right behind her. Her heart leaped. Perfect time to fish out some crystals. Without hesitation, she jumped into the pool and eagerly began searching the bottom. Suddenly, several strands of white aquatic weeds shot up and wrapped around her wrists. Terrified, Lily scrambled above the surface. Seeing it was just weeds, she let out a sigh of relief. But why are weeds growing in the holy water? Out of the corner of her eye, she caught a flash of green light. A handsome, muscular man with green eyes and long green hair was slowly walking toward her. Lily gasped in shock. "Who are you?" She rubbed her eyes. When she opened them again, the man had vanished without a trace. Thinking she had seen a ghost, she frantically screamed for help. But the area was completely deserted. Lily felt a chill creep over her. Was it a monster? Last time it was the banyan demon. What is it this time? Terrified, she scrambled up the edge of the pool on all fours, desperate to get away from this creepy place. Following that, a green orb floated up from the water, calling out in a faint voice, "Lily, save me." Time seemed to instantly rewind to her childhood. This green orb was her only childhood playmate, and she was the only one who could see him. At the time, her parents thought she was suffering from a mental illness and planned to send her to a sanatorium. The green orb bounced to her window, signaling for her to come outside and play. Little Lily pouted helplessly. "Mom and Dad won't let me go out." But then she thought about it. They lived on the second floor. Climbing down the drain pipe and back up shouldn't be too hard. She covered her mouth and giggled. The green orb zipped out the window, and little Lily eagerly followed. Her father, terrified she might fall, had sealed the window shut. Her mother grabbed her arm, anxious and angry. "Lily, you can't climb out the window. It's too dangerous. Never do that again, do you understand?" Little Lily rubbed her fingers and whispered, "Ball wanted to go out and play. I think—" Her mother flared up. "You're talking nonsense again. There is no such thing as Ball in this world." Seeing that her mother didn't believe him, large tears rolled from the orb's eyes. Her mother grew even more agitated. "Tell me you didn't see any Ball. You're lying to me, right?" Just then the green orb suddenly darted toward her mother's head. Little Lily frantically yelled, Ball, get away! Don't hit Mom!" Her mother was deeply traumatized by this sudden outburst and completely broke down. Little Lily didn't want to make her mother sad, so she lied. "Mom, stop crying. I was lying to you. I didn't see Ball." She made a shush gesture at the green orb. "Stop causing trouble. Go stand over there." But her father had witnessed the entire episode. The very next day, she was sent to the bleak sanatorium. While strapped down and subjected to agonizing electroshock therapy, she screamed desperately, Ball, come out. Tell them you're not a hallucination. I'm not sick." But no matter how hard she screamed, the green orb never appeared. Now, in the present, Lily's tears dripped into the pool. The green orb slowly approached her. Lily swatted at it fiercely. "Go away, don't touch me! When I was sent to the sanatorium, you vanished. What's the point of showing up now? Do you want to get me locked up again?" "Get lost! I don't ever want to see you again!" Kyle and Bruno heard her screams and sprinted toward the holy water pool. Kale leaped, instantly appearing behind Lily and pulling her into a tight embrace. "Lily, what's wrong?" Lily turned, saw it was him. Her vision went black as she fainted in his arms. She was rushed to the Beast Hospital. The doctor diagnosed Lily with a mental illness, recommending hospitalization and treatment. Lily's heart turned to ash. No matter what world I'm in, I can't escape this fate. Why does Ball Ball always appear and ruin my life? Just as she was giving up hope, Kale spoke up. "Lily isn't going anywhere. She is not sick. She doesn't need treatment." A glimmer of hope reignited in Lily's dull eyes. But Dr. Bao insisted she needed treatment. Kale scowled. "Look around. Other females lose control of their emotions all the time, and no one ever says they have mental problems. Why is it suddenly an illness when it's Lily?" Seeing the two of them arguing endlessly, Lily sat up from the bed, hugged Kyle, and whispered in his ear, "Stop arguing. Let me handle this." Kale was full of questions. Lily suddenly pretended to be terrified, making gestures with her hands. "Water, bugs, big bugs." Kale instantly understood. Lily was saying she saw giant bugs in the holy water pool. Lily nodded vigorously. Kale immediately argued righteously. "No wonder Lily lost control. Females are terrified of bugs." "Don't be afraid, Lily. No one is going to hurt you." Eventually, he compromised and allowed Kale to take Lily home. The young couple exchanged a knowing look. They had dodged a bullet. A smirk played on Kyle's lips. He gently squeezed Lily's arm. Lily was taken aback for a second, then understood and squeezed his hand back, as if saying, "Thanks for playing along, my favorite dumb wolf." In 20 days, if she still wasn't pregnant, the center would forcibly assign new team members to their household. Kale absolutely refused to let those ugly rejects into his home. He looked at Bruno, made a firm decision, and abruptly leaped out the window, his face looking fouler than a rock in an outhouse. Lily was completely baffled. What is he going crazy about now? Kale bent the iron bars of the window and roared, "You big dummy!" Lily quickly covered her ears. Bruno rushed over. "What's wrong?" Kyle said with utter seriousness. "Tonight you are sleeping in the same room as Lily." Bruno stood frozen, the teacup in his hands trembling. Lily's heart skipped a beat. She snatched the teacup from Bruno's hands and hurled it at Kale. "You big dumb wolf, how can you push me onto someone else? What do you think I am?" Seeing Lily react so intensely, Bruno felt a pang of disappointment. "Is Lily not willing?" Lily glared at him. "I am very unwilling." Seeing this, Kale pulled her into his arms and explained to Bruno, "She's mad at me. It has nothing to do with you. Go get ready." Bruno was overjoyed. "I knew Lily was willing. She gave me food. She definitely likes me." Kale hurriedly tried to soothe Lily. "Lily, listen to me. We are out of time. We have to do this. You don't want those other beastmen coming into our home, do you?" Lily bit her lip, shoved his hand away, and poked him hard in the chest. "You better not regret this." She stomped angrily back to her room. Kale secretly blamed himself for not being strong enough. If he were stronger, he wouldn't be coerced by the Beast World's rules. Lily sat in her room fuming. Aside from Kyle, she simply could not accept a second beast man. A knock came at the door. Bruno, dressed in fresh clothes, pushed the door open. He walked in, closed the door, and opened a drawer, as if searching for something important. Lily's heart did a flip. She jumped off the bed, ready to bolt. "I need to get out of here right now. If that big bear loses control of his impulses, this won't be a joke." But just as she reached the door, Bruno blocked her path. Lily had only wanted to run out quickly, but in Bruno's eyes, it looked like she was eagerly running straight into his arms. Bruno hugged her tightly. Lily pushed him away with all her might and scrambled back to the corner of the bed. She curled into a ball, breaking out in a cold sweat. But Bruno thought she was just being shy. Lily was utterly speechless. "Are you blind? This is me being terrified." Shyly, Bruno sat down next to her and opened the nightstand drawer to grab something. Lily was on the verge of tears. "You big dummy, can't you see I'm scared?" She pulled the blanket up as a shield, trying to figure out how to escape. Bruno pulled out a gift box and offered it to her. Lily thought, such a fancy box. What precious thing is inside? You big dummy, you can't buy me off. Bruno smiled softly and popped the box open. Lily was stunned. Inside the box was the piece of camphor wood she had given him. Bruno had kept it as a token of their love, never bearing to eat it. Lily's face turned as dark as the bottom of a pot. She snatched the wood from his hands and hurled it against the wall. Bruno frantically scrambled to pick it up. Lily marched over and held out her hand, demanding the wood back. Bruno carefully handed it to her. Lily, please don't throw it again. If it breaks... Before he could finish, Lily raised the piece of wood high. Bruno gasped, Lily, don't. But the wood smashed right through the window and flew outside. Bruno stood there completely dumbstruck. Does Lily not like camphor wood? Lily finally exploded, shouting, Hate wood, hate bear! Bruno felt as if 1,000 arrows had pierced his heart. His legs trembled and he stumbled, falling to his knees. So, Lily didn't give me the camphor wood because she liked me. She gave it to me because she hates camphor wood, and she hates me. In that moment, he finally realized his love was entirely unrequited. Lily had never liked him. Lily didn't want Bruno to fall any deeper into his delusion. This was the only way. She tried to walk out of the room, but Bruno grabbed her, hugging her tightly, crying and pleading pathetically. It's okay, I like Lily. Just being by Lily's side is enough. Lily was hugged so tightly she couldn't breathe. She was terrified Bruno was going to lose his mind completely. She screamed, Hurts! Bruno instantly let go. Hearing the scream, Kale burst into the room. You big dummy, what did you do to Lily? Bruno tremblingly explained, We didn't do anything. Suddenly, Lily clutched her stomach and cried out in pain. Seeing her glaring fiercely at him, Kale instantly understood everything. He scooped her up and rushed her to the Beast Hospital. He was secretly relieved. Thank goodness nothing happened. I can still fix this. Lily unexpectedly bit down hard on his arm. Kale knew she was still furious and let her tear at him, whispering, I'm sorry, Lily, I was wrong. It doesn't matter if we don't have cubs. I'll take you away from here. The world is huge. We'll find a place to belong. At the hospital, Dr. Bao suspected Lily was pregnant. Kale immediately denied it. Impossible. She just had her period 2 days ago. That's why I arranged for the big dummy and Lily. Lily shot him a death glare. You dumb wolf! How dare you bring that up? Dr. Bao suggested doing an ultrasound first and told Kale to carry Lily to the ultrasound room. Kale reached out, but Lily angrily swatted his hands away and walked toward the room herself. She thought, when we get back, if Kale tries to force me to be with Bruno again, I'll burn his house down and run away. Lily, you're going the wrong way. The ultrasound room is over here, Dr. Bao called out. The test results showed all her vitals were normal. Wait, something's not right, Dr. Bao suddenly exclaimed. What is it? Kale demanded urgently. The doctor moved the probe back and forth across Lily's stomach. Kale and Bruno were pacing like ants on a hot pan. Lily was sweating bullets. A moment later, the doctor let out a long sigh and smiled. Congratulations, Lily is pregnant. Lily's face was a mask of sheer disbelief. Kale stood frozen. How is this possible? She just had her period. Dr. Bao explained, A very small number of females will still have a cycle during the first month of pregnancy, but all 3 of your cubs are very healthy, so there's nothing to worry about. Lily was amazed. I have 3 little lives growing inside me, and I didn't feel a thing. Dr. Bao wanted them to hear the fetal heartbeats. He moved the probe around her stomach, and finally, a rhythmic thump-thump echoed in the room. Lily was overwhelmed with emotion. She hadn't expected to become a mother so soon, but now her heart was filled with anticipation for these new lives. Kale couldn't hide his excitement. Lily, did you hear that? That's the heartbeat of our cubs. Lily smiled and nodded gently. The young couple beamed with joy, holding each other tightly. Dr. Bao watched with envy. This was the first time he had ever seen a female and an expectant father looking so genuinely happy. Bruno watched the scene, happy for them, but unable to hide his deep sorrow. Will I ever be able to fit into their family? Back home, Kale suggested separating from Bruno. Bruno flatly refused. I didn't do anything wrong. You can't kick me out. Kale's face darkened. Lily can't accept you, and there's nothing I can do about it. To compensate you, I'll give you half my assets. Go buy a new female and start your own family. Bruno slammed his hands on the table, highly agitated. I don't want that. This is my home. Kale's eyes narrowed dangerously. That's not up to you. The tension in the room skyrocketed, a fight ready to break out at any second. Hearing the argument, Lily sensed trouble and rushed out of her room. Wolf? Seeing Lily, Kale quickly plastered on a fake smile. It's nothing. Nothing. The light bulb in the living room just popped. Kale had no choice but to let Bruno stay for now, but he decided to hire a temporary team member to take care of Lily. Kale found a temporary teammate to stand in for Bruno. Lily shuddered at the thought. A teammate in the beast world meant a mate. You big dumb wolf, why did you get me another mate? In the kitchen, Bruno had originally planned to have this new fox beastman roast a chicken for Lily. But then he remembered eating meat was forbidden. If this fox had a loose mouth, it would cause huge trouble for Lily. He couldn't let the fox anywhere near the kitchen prep. He had to distract him. So he ordered the fox to deliver sugarcane juice to Lily. The little fox grinned from ear to ear, secretly thrilled. He didn't expect to get close to Lily so quickly. Watching the fox walk away, Bruno clenched his fists. If that fox tries anything funny, I won't let him get away with it. With a stranger suddenly in the house and Kale out for training, Lily felt completely on edge. There was something very creepy about this new fox. Just as she was pondering, the fox pushed the door open and started winking at her wildly. Lily, have some freshly squeezed sugarcane juice. Lily got full-body goosebumps. This fox did not look like a decent beastman. She took the juice, staring at his overly enthusiastic, smiling face. Well, he's being polite. Maybe he's just a bit dramatic. The little fox smiled smugly, plopped down right next to Lily, and slammed his hand against the edge of the bed, leaning in closer and closer. Lily keeps looking at me. She must think I'm handsome. She must be falling for me. Lily couldn't hold it in anymore. With a pft, she sprayed a mouthful of sugarcane juice directly into his face. The fox freaked out. Ah, my soft, luxurious, jewel-like fur! He covered his face and ran out of the room screaming. That'll teach you to be so full of yourself. Go wash your brain and wake up. She shook her head. This fox was way too sketchy. She had to make Kale fire him immediately. Hearing the commotion, Bruno walked in. Lily, did he scare you? If you need anything, just call me. I'm right in the kitchen. Compared to the fox, Lily suddenly felt Bruno was incredibly reliable. But she still couldn't return his romantic feelings. Not long after, the little fox returned to Lily's room, his face a mix of disappointment and resentment. Why is she rejecting me so hard? Her sense of autonomy is way too strong. He walked in and gently brushed his fluffy tail against Lily's cheek, declaring confidently, My tail feels amazing to touch. Does Lily want to pet it? A smirk crept onto his face. So what if she's independent? No female can resist the allure of a fox's tail. I'll have you completely obsessed with me. Lily reached out and rubbed the fox's tail, genuinely impressed. Wow, this fluffy tail is so soft. The little fox was over the moon. Hey, hooked her. But his joy didn't even last 3 seconds before he was screaming in pain. Lily had yanked out a whole tuft of his fur. Okay, that's enough petting. The fox grabbed Lily's hand, pouting his lips. You pet my tail, it's only fair you let me kiss you. Lily gasped in shock, scolding him. You creep! You perverted fox! Hearing this, Bruno rushed into the room. Lily quickly hid behind him. The fox was terrified out of his wits and frantically tried to defend himself. I was just playing with Lily with my tail. I accidentally brushed her eye and startled her. Bruno leaned in and sniffed Lily carefully. Smelling only fox fur, he sternly warned, Keep your tail to yourself. No playing around with Lily. Lily leaned close to Bruno's ear and whispered, He tried to kiss me. Bruno's face instantly went dark, and a fiery rage erupted around him. With a massive crash, he punched the fox so hard the creep went flying out of the room. The fox couldn't understand why Bruno had suddenly attacked him. He had no idea Lily had quietly ratted out his creepy behavior. Bruno wasn't about to let him off easy. With an angry roar, he chased after him. Lily was curious. This bad fox looked so weak, how was he running so fast? And his destructive power wasn't bad either. She watched as Bruno grabbed the fox by the tail. Then he brutally slammed him into the ground. The fox gasped for air, nearly crushed. Bruno's face was darker than ever as he roared, How dare you act inappropriately with Lily? If I wasn't worried about scaring her, I'd beat you to a pulp. Bruno patted the fox fur off his clothes, frowning as he cursed inwardly. I don't know what Kale was thinking bringing a scumbag like that into the house. Bear? Lily walked out. Bruno immediately put on a smiling face. Don't be afraid, Lily. I've already thrown that guy out. Lily was still shaken. Beastmen were terrifying. If she were home alone and ran into a bad beast man, she'd be completely helpless. Bruno reached out a large hand to steady her. Lily looked at his honest face and thought, If I have to have a beast man guard me at home, Bruno is definitely more reliable than the others. But in her heart, she still only wanted to spend her life with Kyle. Seeing Lily's eyes rimmed with red, Bruno clenched his fists, ready to go finish off the fox. Lily quickly grabbed his arm, mumbling, "Eat, eat," afraid Bruno would go too far and cause serious trouble. Bruno turned and roared at the fox hiding behind the wall outside. "If your foot even touches the dirt in this courtyard, I'll tear you to pieces and feed you to the chickens." The little fox trembled in fear. He didn't dare breathe a sigh of relief until Bruno and Lily were back inside. He climbed onto the wall, pulling out a comb to fix his fur, acting tough. "You won't let me touch the ground. Fine, I'll step on it anyway. What are you going to do about it?" But his arrogance lasted less than 3 seconds before a volley of sugarcane stalks came flying at him like arrows, forcing him to duck back outside the wall. Bruno brought a bundle of sugarcane and sat in the courtyard, calling out to Lily, "I'll peel some sugarcane for you. I guarantee not even a fly will get in here." The fox was losing his mind. "He's specifically guarding against me. Just wait until Kale gets back, you're gonna get it." With Bruno standing guard, Lily felt much safer. The doorbell rang. Kale walked in. The fox immediately yelled excitedly, "Boss! Bruno tried to kick me out! He tried to kill me!" Lily angrily retorted, "You're lying, you bad fox!" She tried to step forward to explain, but Kale held up a hand. "Lily, stay back, I know what's going on." His expression turned icy as he snapped at the fox. "Wuxin, get over here!" Thinking he had Kale's backing, the fox confidently hopped into the courtyard, whining about Bruno's supposed wrongdoings as he approached. Bruno ground his fangs in anger. He was about to defend himself, but the fox kept rambling. "Lily absolutely loved my tail. She wouldn't stop playing with it. It's this dumb bear who keeps getting in the way." Bruno's face turned livid. Lily cursed inwardly, "You shameless creep. You've probably used your tail to seduce plenty of females. I wish I could shave it bald so you can't ruin anyone else." The fox kept trying to suck up. "Boss, I took great care of Lily. You can smell her, she only smells like my tail." Before he could finish, Kale grabbed him by the throat, his eyes blazing with fury. "I told you not to do anything inappropriate to Lily. Did you think I was joking?" Moments later, the fox was tied up tightly, every single hair on his tail completely shaved off. A large fire was lit. Lily angrily grabbed a handful of the shaved fox fur and tossed it into the flames to burn. Bruno secretly blamed himself for not protecting Lily better. Lily handed him a clump of fox fur, thinking he might want to burn some too. Bruno waved his hand awkwardly. "I won't burn it. You burn it." Seeing the glow of the fire, Kale kicked the door down and rushed in. "Lily, put it down, run!" Lily was completely speechless. "I'm speechless. You broke the door again. How many times is this now? Can you be a little more calm? You're ruining the house." Kale kicked over the fire pan and explained, "Wuxin is already locked up in detention. I have evidence." "He can't deny it." Lily frowned. "Evidence? Did that big gray wolf install a camera in my room?" Bruno stepped up and confronted Kyle. "I don't object to you finding a temporary teammate, but you need to understand their character before you bring them home." Kale's face darkened. He tightly gripped Lily's hand, full of guilt, and promised, "I will never look for another temporary teammate again." He gently caressed Lily's slightly bulging stomach, speaking softly, "In a month and a half, the cubs will be born. I'll train them well. By the time they're a year old, they'll be able to protect their mother." The babies were coming. Lily successfully gave birth to 3 little wolf cubs. Just as she was pushing through the exhaustion of labor, several vines crept stealthily through the window. Bruno's heart skipped a beat. He opened the door and was instantly paralyzed by fear. A dense, writhing mass of white bone vines was surging toward them. Inside, Lily had just breathed a sigh of relief when a vine lightly draped over her head. She sensed a strange spiritual entity approaching and looked around in panic. The next second, she suddenly fainted. Kale rushed in, scooped her up, and carried her out of the delivery room, crashing right into a disheveled Bruno. Bruno hurriedly backed away, terrified of getting Lily dirty. "What happened to you?" Kale asked, his brow furrowed. Bruno explained. A massive swarm of white bone vines suddenly appeared in the hallway. "I already took care of it, it's fine." Kale carried Lily back to her ward. As they passed the hallway corner, Lily caught the strong scent of plant sap, the lingering residue of Bruno's battle with the vines. Back in the ward, as soon as Bruno brought the babies in, Lily was desperate to see them. Kale took the little wolf cubs and placed them gently in front of her. Looking at the 3 adorable, robust little guys, Lily was in utter disbelief. I actually gave birth to 3 wolf cubs. She gently squeezed one of the cub's paws. It felt incredibly soft. Kale chuckled. Soft, right? Newborn wolf paws are the softest. Watching this picture-perfect family, Bruno was filled with envy and quietly slipped out of the room. The little milk wolves were yipping and rolling around. Kale quickly told Lily to let go. Careful, don't let their little claws scratch you. Lily nuzzled the cubs. It's fine, I'm their mama. The next day, the white bone vines experienced a sudden, explosive surge in growth, but moments later they rapidly withered away. The beastmen were in a panic, terrified that the white bone vines, suppressed by the seal, were going to die off completely. The chieftain roared, "Silence!" The sound made everyone's ears ring. He reassured the crowd, "The rumors of the white bone vines dying are absolute nonsense." Seeing the crowd still whispering, the chieftain stomped his massive foot. "As long as I'm here, the white bone vines will not die, and the seal will never break." Elsewhere, Lily slowly woke up, stretching her arms. Beside her, the little cubs were whimpering and waving their tiny paws. Seeing her babies were awake, she hopped out of bed and opened the window to let the sunlight in. Suddenly, a white bone vine crawled up to the window. Curious, Lily picked it up. At that moment, Kyle walked in. Seeing the vine in her hand, he froze in sheer terror. "Lily, drop it! That's a white bone vine! It's incredibly dangerous!" He quickly snatched the vine from her and threw it into the trash can. He explained, before the white bone vines were sealed, they specifically hunted females. Once caught, they would be tormented until they perished. As he spoke, he sprayed a defoliant into the trash can, speaking sternly. "From now on, no matter what form the white bone vine takes, you must run far away from it." Lily rubbed her hands nervously, looking dazed. Kale instantly regretted his harsh tone and quickly apologized. "Lily, I'm sorry, I was too agitated. Did I scare you?" But Lily was thinking back to her childhood. This vine looked exactly like the one her mother had planted in the yard. That was when Ball Ball had first appeared. Could the white bone vine actually be Ball Ball? But she didn't believe Ball Ball could be that cruel. At the holy water pool, she distinctly heard him calling for help. What if Ball Ball was forced to be sealed along with the white bone vines, just like she had been forced into the sanatorium? She excitedly gripped Kale's hands, wanting him to take her to the holy water pool. But the next second, a sharp pain struck her abdomen. Kale wanted to call the doctor, but she held him back. "No need, just eating some transparent crystals will help." She had to get to the holy water pool to fish some out. Kale looked troubled. "The holy water pool is only open during sacrifices. I'll take you there next month during the ceremony." Lily had no choice but to drop it for now. The doctor asked Kale to step out to teach him about postpartum care for females. While he was out, Kale ran into the deeply obnoxious Cyrus. Kale's eyes narrowed. Cyrus spoke with a sleazy tone. "I heard Lily gave birth yesterday. I bought Patty over half a year ago and still nothing." He licked his lips. "Brother Wolf really has all the luck. I saw Lily at the hospital yesterday. She's getting prettier and prettier." Kale told him to get lost. But Cyrus lunged forward, throwing an arm over Kale's shoulder. "Brother Wolf, don't leave!" The next second, Kale's body erupted in flames. Cyrus's hand was instantly scorched red, but he still wouldn't back down. "I have something to say about Lily." Kale stopped and said coldly, "What twisted scheme are you plotting now?" Cyrus gave a sleazy, wicked grin. "Look at my Patty. Her looks and intelligence are top tier in Peace City. Beastmen are lining up to join my team." Kyle looked incredibly annoyed. "What does that have to do with Lily? Get to the point." Cyrus smiled evilly, leaning close to whisper, "Let's trade mates." Before he could even finish the sentence, Kale punched him so hard he flew through the air. Having dealt with that nuisance, he hurried back to Lily's ward. Just as he reached the door, he heard strange noises coming from inside. Kale's eyes narrowed. Does that big dummy Bruno have inappropriate thoughts about Lily too? He kicked the door open with a resounding crash and roared, "Let go of Lily!" Bruno and Lily jumped in shock, completely bewildered. It turned out the wolf cubs had spilled milk on Lily's clothes while nursing, and Bruno was simply trying to help her change into something clean. Seeing the situation, Kale gave an awkward, goofy laugh to cover his embarrassment. But catching the slightly infatuated look in Bruno's eyes as he looked at Lily still annoyed him. "Why were you trying to force Lily to change clothes?" Bruno was about to defend himself when one of the little cubs suddenly choked, coughing up milk. Lily's heart was in her throat. Kale quickly and carefully scooped up the little cub, gently patting its back with one finger to help clear the milk. It wasn't until the little wolf caught its breath that Kale let out a long sigh of relief. Watching Kale handle the cub, Bruno suddenly noticed a patch of brown fur on the little guy's chest. Kale initially thought it was just a stain, but it wouldn't wipe off. He was stunned. There had never been a brown fur gene in his family line, unless the cub had inherited Lily's genes. In the beast world, if a child inherited the mother's genetics, it would be a monumental discovery for solving the beastman's reproduction issues, but it would be an absolute disaster for this little family. The development center would definitely take the female away for research. For Lily's safety, Kale quickly grabbed a dye marker and colored all 3 cubs' fur to match his own. Watching this, Lily felt her entire worldview shift. In the beast world, a child looking like its mother is so special it has to be hidden? Am I going to spend the rest of my life disguising everything related to myself? Oh no, did the medical staff who helped with the delivery see the cub's fur color? Bruno suddenly called out, breaking her train of thought. Kale put down the dye marker. When they were born, their fur wasn't even dry before they were wrapped up. The staff probably didn't notice. 3 days later, the family returned home. Kyle immediately set off on another training expedition, leaving Bruno to take care of Lily and the cubs. A few days later, the cubs opened their eyes. The eldest and second cubs had wolf eyes just like Kale's, but the youngest cub had double eyelids and slender eyes exactly like Lily's. Although everyone adored those special eyes, the more the cubs looked like Lily, the more dangerous it was. From then on, Kyle trained even harder, pushing himself to the limit. A month flew by, and the day of the sacrifice arrived. Lily desperately wanted to gain the power of the white bone vines, believing that freeing them was her only chance. She carefully applied her makeup. The moment she stepped out of her room, Kale was deeply captivated. He rushed over and couldn't resist a quick peck on her lips, praising, "Lily looks as beautiful as a fairy today." Just as they were sharing a romantic moment, Bruno walked over holding the wolf cubs. "The babies just turned 1 month old. Is it really okay to bring them to the sacrifice?" "And the youngest cub's eyes?" Kale cut him off. "It's fine. The youngest has my eye color, just a different shape. It won't stand out too much." They soon arrived at the sacrificial grounds. The little wolf cubs aggressively barked and growled at any unfamiliar beastman, each looking fiercer than the last. Before they left, Kale had repeatedly told them, "Your mother is in your care. You must protect her." So the little guys absolutely refused to let any other beastmen near. Bruno laughed and tried to coax them. "Take a break, you're scaring all the other beastmen away." The little wolves yipped proudly. Suddenly, they spotted a few bear cubs playing nearby and eagerly wanted to join in. Lily noticed their excitement and gently nudged them, signaling they could go play. The little guys yelped happily. Bruno also relented. "Go on, I'll protect your mom." The wolf cubs happily bounced away, trotting over to the bear cubs. Right at that moment, a familiar voice echoed in Lily's ear. "You're finally here." She looked up, and the green orb, Ball, was floating right in front of her. Lily was shocked. Ball, is that you?" The moment the words left her mouth, she covered her lips, terrified Bruno would hear her speak. But Ball reassured her, "You can speak safely. I've set up a barrier. They can't hear our conversation." Lily tested it, calling out, "Bear!" Bruno, standing right next to her, had absolutely no reaction. Ball explained, "I'm much stronger now than I used to be. I can block sound within a certain radius." Lily sighed. "If you had this power back then, maybe I wouldn't have been sent to the sanatorium." It turned out that after little Lily was taken away, Ball had desperately wanted to find her, but was trapped in one place, unable to leave. He waited day after day until one day he acquired massive energy and was finally able to break free. But after searching for so long and seeing countless people, none of them were Lily. Lily paused, a sudden realization hitting her. Ball, are you the white bone vine? Did you eliminate all those girls?" Ball frantically explained, "I didn't harm them. Once I confirmed they weren't you, I let them go. It was the beastmen who abducted the girls I released. And then they sealed me here in this endless, fiery hell." Lily gently touched the orb. "What can I do to help you?" Suddenly, with a pop, the orb shattered. It transformed into a breathtakingly handsome man. He pointed toward the sacrificial altar. "Destroy it and I will be free." Lily was worried. "If the seal is broken, won't the city be swallowed by plants?" Ball replied calmly, "I can control them. Once my power is fully unleashed, it will be tens of millions of times stronger than it is now." Seeing Lily hesitate, Ball's face darkened. Why won't you agree? Are you just like those beastmen? Then you can all go to hell together. With that, he dove back into the holy water pool. Bruno sensed a flow of energy behind him and turned around, only to see Lily standing blankly by the edge of the pool. Back home, Bruno reported this to Kale. Today at the holy water pool, I felt a strange flow of energy. Strange energy? Kyle asked, confused. Bruno nodded. Yes. After Lily said something to the holy water pool, the energy vanished. Kyle told him not to be paranoid, but Bruno insisted it had something to do with Lily. Kale's eyes narrowed dangerously. Shut up. If baseless assumptions like that get out, it will bring massive trouble for Lily. Bruno was at a loss for words. I'm just worried about her safety. That night, after bathing the wolf cubs, an exhausted Lily collapsed into Kale's arms. Kale gave her a massage, kneading her shoulders. Did you not find any crystals in the pool today? Hearing this, Lily sat up. I met a friend today. Kale assumed she meant the heavyset girl, Patty, but Lily explained that it was a long-lost friend. She poured out the entire truth about her past to Kale. Revealing these unbelievable facts, she worried Kale wouldn't believe her. But Kale already knew she was from over 2,000 years ago. Even though it completely upended everything he knew, he chose to believe her without a single doubt. It's all in the past now. I won't ever let you get hurt again. Lily's eyes grew red and tears began to fall. Seeing this, the little wolf cubs yipped and whined, crowding around to lick the tears from their mother's face, as if comforting her. Lily was still anxious. Do you really believe me? You don't think I'm crazy? Kale chuckled. Silly, why wouldn't I believe you? Just look at how you catch chickens. You're clearly not a female from the beast world. Lily was even more confused. I've never caught a chicken in front of you. How did you know? Now that I think about it, it's always felt weird, like you installed a camera in the house or something. Kale broke out in a cold sweat. Lily exploded in anger. You really did install one. You've been spying on me every day. She immediately ordered the little wolves to launch a critical strike on their father. This is your punishment. You're never allowed to do that again. Yet she still wanted Kale to rescue the sealed white bone vine. Kale flatly refused. The white bone vine is one of the most dangerous plants in beastman history. Its vines are soaked in the blood of countless lives. Lily took his clenched hand and said softly, Ball is the white bone vine. He said he never hurt those humans. It was all a misunderstanding. Kale let out a cold laugh, clearly not buying Ball's story. Lily promised repeatedly, Ball is my best friend. I trust him. He's been sealed away for over 800 years. I just can't bear to see him suffer anymore. Kale still had his doubts. How can you be sure the white bone vine is actually Ball? Maybe you're caught in a plant-induced hallucination. Lily's face darkened and she grew agitated. It's not a hallucination. Ball is not a hallucination. I am certain he is Ball. Seeing her so insistent, Kale finally gave in. Lily looked at Kale, who cared for her so deeply, and unexpectedly planted a kiss on his cheek. Kale blushed, asking softly, I still don't even know your real name. Lily paused. My name is Lily. Lily, that's beautiful, like a delicate flower, Kale praised. Lily smiled. I like it better when you call me Lily. Just keep calling me that. Just as they were about to kiss, the little wolves yipped and crowded around them. Blushing, Lily ducked away to the edge of the bathtub. Oh, this bathtub is a little dirty, let me scrub it. A few days later, the wolf cubs hit the 1-month mark and were fully weaned. But after weaning, their only food was wood shavings soaked in water. Lily worried they wouldn't be able to digest it. After eating the wood shavings, the little wolves were bouncing off the walls with excitement. Lily thought the wood was making them sick. Kale explained, wood has massive energy. This is their first time eating it, so the excitement is normal. Once they burn off most of the energy and focus the rest, they'll be able to complete their first transformation. Lily was thrilled. You mean the cubs will turn into human form tonight? But after hours of causing a ruckus, the little wolves still hadn't transformed. Kale said, the cubs have to burn off all that excess energy before they transform. Otherwise, the surge will tear their bodies apart. Lily's heart clenched. It's that dangerous? Then we should feed them less. As long as they can transform, that's enough, right? Kale shook his head. Feeding them less means insufficient energy. Even if they transform successfully, their bodies will be incredibly weak in the future. Lily was speechless. Our cubs are so strong, they'll definitely make it through, right? Kale looked extremely proud. Of course they will. They're my sons after all. Before long, the little wolves finally tired out. Lily tried to walk over, but Kyle held her back. Don't go near them. They're about to transform. The little wolves began to glow with a golden light. Suddenly, one of the cubs let out a long howl to the sky. It slowly stood up, sparks and electricity crackling around its body. Lily tightly clenched her fists in anxiety. She watched as the little wolf bent its front legs, leaped into the air with a whoosh, and in the blink of an eye transformed into a human boy, crashing right into her arms. Looking at the incredibly adorable wolf-eared boy, Lily was in awe. It's Dash! Kale took the child and began checking his vitals. Lily looked at the father and son. They were practically identical. Seeing their older brother happily playing with their mom, the second and third cubs couldn't hold back anymore. They howled at the sky and stood up. The next second, they transformed into their human forms as well. Lily was overjoyed, gathering all three children into a massive hug. This is wonderful. The cubs successfully transformed. Outside, Bruno paced like an ant on a hot pan. He didn't finally relax until he saw all the cubs successfully take human form. The eldest was named Dash, the second Shadow, and the youngest Jinx. Early the next morning at Cyrus's house, a scrawny beastman rushed in frantically. Boss, there are wolves outside. Cyrus looked utterly annoyed. I said I'm not seeing him. Tell that wolf beastman to get lost. It was Kale. He had come to Cyrus with a specific request. Meanwhile, Lily was playing with the little wolves, planning their future. Once we free Ball, the whole family can move to a safer city district. The thought made her smile. The front door opened. Seeing Kyle return, the little wolves eagerly pounced into his arms. Bruno mentioned he wanted to head into the forest tonight for some training and to stretch his limbs. Kale told him to go tomorrow night instead. Tonight, he needed Bruno to watch the kids. He and Lily had to go out. Lily's eyes lit up. Are we going to see Ball? Kale grinned and nodded. Lily immediately ran out of the room in pure excitement to get ready. Bruno asked Kyle what they were going out for, offering to help if needed. Kale just nodded in thanks. The little wolves scrambled all over Bruno, clamoring to play. Bruno picked them up. Be good. Papa Bear will play with you later. Kale smiled. The kids really love you. You're a trustworthy teammate. Before long, Kale and Lily arrived at the sacrificial grounds. Lily asked, How do we get in? Is there a secret path? Kale shook his head. No, there are patrols outside 24/7. Not even a fly could get in. Lily was bewildered. Then why are we here? We'll be spotted the second we show our faces. Kale chuckled. That's why we're going through the front door. Lily was full of questions. Isn't that just walking right into a trap? Don't worry, I'm not an idiot, Kale said calmly. Cyrus growled softly. Why did you bring Lily too? Females will just start screaming outside. Lily was secretly shocked. It's this bad lion? Kale pretended to be helpless. Lily insisted on coming. I had no choice. Looking at the delicate and beautiful Lily, Cyrus was completely captivated. Seeing this, Kale pulled Lily aside. Lily won't scream. Just hurry up and we won't get caught. Cyrus's mouth twitched, but he had no choice but to lead them in. Lily, confused, asked Kale, why him? Kale explained. He's part of the chieftain's inner circle, in charge of the altar guards. He's the only one who can get us in. Lily was still worried. But he's so bad. Aren't you afraid he'll set us up? Kale smiled. You know how a donkey works? Dangle a carrot in front of its face and it'll just keep running. Cyrus is greedy and stupid. I just dangled a piece of bait in front of him that he can see but can never eat. Cyrus swaggered into the sacrificial grounds but was stopped by 2 guards. He barked, If you want to live, get out of my way. The terminal on Kale's arm buzzed. It was Cyrus, signaling them to come over and warning them to grab the crystals and get out fast, otherwise they'd be discovered. Kale carried Lily into the grounds, hurrying over to the holy water pool. Lily whispered, Ball, I'm here! Come out! But Kale felt something was deeply wrong. He urged Lily to leave immediately and try again another day. Just as they turned to run, the holy water pool started bubbling violently. The next second, a massive tornado erupted from the water with a deafening roar. A voice boomed, Brother Wolf, leaving so soon? Kyle froze. He immediately sent a message to Bruno back home. Pack everything. Grab the kids. Meet outside the city. Kale pushed Lily to safety. Hide! Don't come any closer! He yelled to the chieftain. We just snuck into the sacrificial grounds at night. That's hardly a crime punishable by death, chieftain. The chieftain let out a cold laugh. You're not leaving here alive. Kale knew that with his current strength, he was no match for the chieftain. He tried to secretly call for backup, but the chieftain stopped him. The chieftain laughed maniacally. No need to rush. There will be plenty of time to call people to collect your corpse. Hearing this, Kale was furious. You're sacrificing the safety of Peace City just to gain power? You don't deserve to lead this city. The chieftain's eyes darkened and he raised a massive hand. Since you know everything, then have a safe trip to the afterlife. With a deafening explosion, blasts of fire rained down on them. The altar area was instantly blown apart. Lily choked and coughed in the smoke and dust. A drop of blood splattered onto her face. Wiping it away, her heart filled with dread. That's Kale's blood. Kale was completely outmatched by the lion. His life was hanging by a thread. Lily was frantic, completely at a loss for what to do. Suddenly, Ball's voice echoed in her ear. Destroy the core of the formation. It will free me. A light bulb went off in Lily's head. The white bone vine was incredibly powerful. It could definitely help Kale. Ball pointed to the core's location. Lily immediately rushed over, pounding on the edge of the holy water pool and screaming, Kale! Kale instantly understood. Lily wants me to shatter the pool. The core must be underneath it. Seeing this, the chieftain thought Lily was just telling Kale to hide in the water. He sneered, Good female. Once he's gone, I'll find a much better male to take care of you. Kale ground his fangs and charged fiercely toward the pool. The chieftain, realizing Kale was aiming to destroy the pool, panicked. How does he know the core is there? He lunged to stop him. Kale leapt to the center of the pool and smashed the core with a devastating punch. Seizing the moment, Ball burst through the shattered core, exploding out of the pool. The ground cracked open with a sickening crunch. Lily frantically screamed, Ball, stop! Kale reached out and pulled her into his arms. Lily was terrified. Ball has lost control. He won't listen to me. Kale's voice was grim. Forget it. I've already told Bruno to meet us outside the city. Once we leave Peace City, we'll be safe. Watching the massive, writhing white bone vines tear through the ground, the chieftain was completely stunned. It's over. Everything is ruined. Seeing Kale about to escape with Lily, the chieftain's face twisted with murderous rage. He transformed into a massive tornado and swept toward them. Kale's heart seized. If they get sucked in, they're dead. He tried to hand Lily over to the white bone vine to save her, but Lily grabbed his collar tightly, her eyes resolute. She was going to live or die with him. The chieftain launched a desperate attack. Die, you traitor of Peace City! A massive explosion shook the earth, splitting the ground into deep chasms. Kale clung desperately to the cliff edge, trying to climb up. But his leg was severely injured and his arm was broken. He couldn't hold on much longer. Lily bit her lip, consumed by guilt. I'm so sorry. It's all my fault for insisting on saving Ball. I dragged you into this. Kale gently kissed her forehead. It's not your fault. We have to survive. The cubs are waiting for us. He used all his remaining strength to push Lily up, telling her to climb first. But the cliff was too steep and she nearly slipped. Kale's eyes were gentle but firm. I'll help you. He summoned every ounce of his energy and hoisted Lily onto the ledge. But the exertion drained him completely. His hand slipped and he plummeted straight into the abyss. As he fell, flashes of his time with Lily raced through his mind. Though he was unwilling to leave her, seeing her safe on the ledge meant he could die without regrets. Lily, you must survive. After Kale fell, the white bone vines completely destroyed Peace City. Bruno tried to take Lily and the cubs to safety in the chaos. But he was intercepted by Leo, who snatched Lily and the kids away. Leo reported back to the capital, falsely accusing Kale of colluding with the white bone vines to destroy the seal, forcing tens of thousands of beastmen to flee into the forest. He lied, claiming Kale had been executed on the spot. He also slandered Kale, saying he and his accomplices had done it all to monopolize a rare atavistic female, Lily, who supposedly possessed the power to change beastman genetics, thus committing a heinous crime. The supreme leader of the capital ordered the refugees to be settled first. As for Lily, he had other plans. Meanwhile, the beastmen from Peace City had taken refuge in the forest, and the little wolves were among them. The development center's human females and males were also mixed into the crowd. One beastman spat angrily, "Look at those human males!" Scrawny as chewed up wood chips. No wonder female genetics keep getting worse. Another chimed in, "Didn't the chieftain say he was going to send Lily to the breeding department? Such a precious female if they opened her up to the public?" Hearing this, the little wolves ground their fangs in absolute fury. They picked up rocks and hurled them at the foul-mouthed beastman. Roaring with red eyes, they shouted, "You bad beastman!" The beastman raised his serving spoon, ready to strike the cubs. But a large hand stopped him in his tracks. "He's just an unweaned cub." It was Lily's dedicated doctor, Dr. Bao. The beastman was defiant. "The chieftain said Kale's female was going to the breeding department." Dr. Bao shouted angrily, "The chieftain has issued a new order. Lily is too valuable to be sent to the breeding department." "Watch your mouths!" He handed the food to the little wolves and patted their heads. "Good boys, take this food to your mother." The cubs brought the food to Lily, but her mind was entirely focused on how to escape with her babies. The forest was too dangerous. Even if they escaped the camp, they could be swallowed by the sentient plants. The more she thought, the more panicked she became. Kale's face kept flashing in her mind, and tears streamed down her cheeks. "Mama, eat," the little wolves urged repeatedly. "Leave me alone!" Lily swatted the food away in frustration. The little wolves froze. Why won't Mama eat? Just then, a nearby beastman mentioned that females loved eating lotus pods and found wood shavings hard to swallow. Dash's eyes lit up. He told Shadow and Jinx to protect their mother while he ran off to pick some lotus pods. Summoning his courage, Dash jumped into the pond. Suddenly, a massive crocodile glided silently toward him. Lily heard someone scream, "A cub was just snatched by a crocodile!" Her heart stopped. When Lily rushed to the edge of the water and saw Dash's tiny, battered body, her heart shattered. She pulled him tightly into her arms, weeping. Shadow and Jinx crowded around, filled with worry. After examining him, Dr. Bao announced that Dash's bones and tendons were completely shattered. Even the slightest touch sent agonizing pain through his small body. Lily's eyes were red, her heart breaking for her child. Dr. Bao asked the beastman who had saved Dash how the cub ended up in the deep pool. The beastman explained. He jumped in himself. Looked like he was trying to pick lotus pods. The second he reached out, the crocodile pulled him under. Hearing this, Lily's tears flowed even harder. She was consumed by guilt. If I had just eaten the food he brought me, he wouldn't have risked his life to pick those lotus pods. He almost died because of me. The nearby medics whispered among themselves. "We don't have the equipment for surgery here. We'll have to amputate to save his life." Lily begged Dr. Bao to heal Dash. Dr. Bao's voice was heavy. "We aren't far from Peace City. If we can get back to the city, there might be hope." Just then, the chieftain strolled over and sneered. "Are you insane? You'd be crushed into meat paste by the white bone vines before you even made it inside the gates." He glanced at the injured cub, thinking to himself, "That's Kyle's strongest cub. Better if it dies." Lily shot him a glare so fierce it actually made the chieftain flinch. Dr. Bao volunteered, requesting 2 strong warriors to protect him. "I am willing to take the child back to the city to try." The chieftain waved his hand dismissively. "If you want to throw your life away, I won't stop you, but I'm not risking anyone else. Just amputate." Lily was desperate. She screamed, "No, you can't amputate. We have to go back to the city. Please save my child." Hearing this, everyone's jaws dropped. They stared at her as if she were a monster. Dr. Bao asked curiously, "Lily, your intelligence, it's normal?" Lily immediately clamped her mouth shut, her heart in her throat. The chieftain, annoyed by the spectacle, ordered everyone to disperse. Then he instructed Dr. Bao to carefully examine Lily, as this was a matter of utmost importance. Summoning all her courage, Lily shouted, "That's right! My intelligence is completely normal." The crowd was struck as if by lightning, shocked beyond words. The chieftain threw his head back and laughed maniacally. "Ha ha ha! The heavens have blessed our kind, delivering such a precious female." Lily gave herself a mental pep talk. "I can't back down. I have to fight for a chance to save Dash." She took a deep breath and said firmly, "Send Dash back to the city for treatment right now, or I will absolutely not cooperate with your research." The chieftain sneered. "That is not up to you. I'm going to send you to the breeding department, pair you with human males, and have you breed healthy offspring." He ordered Dr. Bao to amputate the cub's limb immediately so they wouldn't be delayed for the night march. Lily's heart trembled. Even Dr. Bao was powerless to help. As the chieftain turned to leave, Lily lunged forward. "Don't go. If you don't send Dash back to the city, I'll tell everyone what you said at the sacrificial." Before she could finish, with a sudden boom, she was completely immobilized. The chieftain's mind grew even more twisted. This female can lie and use threats? Her research value is astronomical. Shadow and Jinx rushed forward, desperately trying to protect their mother. The chieftain ordered his men to separate the cubs from Lily. Dr. Bao stepped in. The cubs are familiar with me, I'll take them. He promised Lily he would take good care of them and reached out to take Dash from her arms. Don't come any closer! Lily suddenly grew frantic. The next second, a massive gust of wind roared through the camp. With a whoosh, Lily and the cubs vanished into thin air. It was the white bone vine Ball. He had saved them and completely healed Dash. In a deep sleep, Lily dreamed of Kale's final words. Lily, you and the kids must survive. She woke up with a start. Seeing her children safe beside her, half her fears melted away. She sat up and asked, Dash, how is your leg? Dash hopped up and down. It's all better. It doesn't hurt at all. Lily was thrilled and amazed. How did it heal so fast? Dash smiled. A man with long green hair fixed it. Lily realized instantly that Ball had saved them. She quickly thanked the air around her. Thank you, Ball. Thank you for saving my baby. But there was no response. She turned to the cubs. The white bone vine saved you. We have to remember this kindness forever. The cubs nodded earnestly. Lily set Dash down, wanting to find some food. Suddenly, she froze. Both of her feet were buried deep in the soil. Ball's voice echoed in her mind. You exhausted your energy and fainted. I planted your feet in the dirt so you could absorb nutrients. Dash waved his tiny hand at the empty air. Lily was absolutely speechless. Gee, thanks, but I'm not a plant. Suddenly, the sound of approaching footsteps echoed nearby. Lily panicked. Oh no, they caught up to us. She tried to run, but her feet were still planted in the ground. The three little wolves quickly crowded around to help dig her out. Watching the little guys dig furiously, Ball smirked. With a pop, Lily's feet were yanked free from the soil. Seeing the beastmen closing in, Lily quickly grabbed a sturdy stick, hid the cubs behind her, and yelled, Come on then, you scumbags! But the beastmen walked right past her, as if she were completely invisible. Ball appeared behind her. I set up a barrier. They can't see or sense you. Lily let out a massive sigh of relief. You could have said that earlier. You scared me half to death. The chieftain assumed Lily and the cubs had been rescued by Bruno using some sort of earth tunneling ability, and immediately ordered a citywide manhunt for the bear. Watching from the shadows, Lily was fuming. Ball, let's take this chance and go kill Leo. Ball's eyes narrowed dangerously. He was about to charge forward, but the chieftain suddenly whipped his head around, looking straight at their spot. There was no one there. Lily walked from sunrise to sunset until she finally collapsed from exhaustion. We haven't eaten all day. I can't take another step. Hearing this, Ball immediately started using plants to dig a hole in the ground. Lily was dumbfounded. What are you digging a hole for? We're animals. We need to eat actual food to get energy. She asked Ball to find some edible wood pulp. Suddenly, a massive snake slithered out from the brush. The hair on Lily's arm stood straight up. She quickly covered the cubs' mouths. Don't make a sound. Don't draw its attention. The next second, the giant snake slithered right up to her face. The mother and cubs were absolutely terrified. Thinking they had been spotted, Lily grabbed the cubs, turned, and ran. Ball, use your vines to stop it! But Ball just stood there, looking completely unfazed. Lily was confused. Did the snake leave? Ball explained, My barrier is always active. Neither animals nor plants can sense us. Ball wanted to take Lily back to Peace City, but she shook her head. Bruno doesn't know I've escaped. He's definitely going to go after Leo. It's too dangerous. We need to go to the nearest safe city and contact him. Who is Bruno? Ball asked. Is he very important to you? Thinking of everything Bruno had done for her, Lily answered earnestly. He's our most important partner. I can't just watch him put himself in danger for my sake. Ball remained silent for a long moment, then turned to go find food. Suddenly, one of the cubs fainted from hunger. Lily quickly tried to feed him what little she had. Ball returned with food just in time to see this and flew into a rage. He controlled a vine to snatch the cub high into the air. Lily's heart stopped. Ball, let Dash go! Ball finally released him. Lily scrambled to catch the cub. Thankfully, he was unharmed. She demanded, Are you crazy? Why did you attack Dash? Ball scowled. He was eating you? Lily was completely mortified. She stammered, This is how animal babies get energy. Just look away. Ball retracted his vines, thoroughly confused. Watching the little wolves happily munching on the wood shavings Ball had brought back, Lily smiled warmly. Jinx, don't step on the food basket. If your dad saw that, he'd spank you. The thought of Kale brought fresh tears to her eyes. Ball Ball reached out and wiped a tear from her cheek. "You're crying." Lily rubbed her eyes. "No, just got some sand in my eye. It must be because that little wolf bit you and it hurt." Lily spat out her food, waving her hands frantically. Stop, don't say another word. End of discussion." She gave an awkward laugh and changed the subject. "By the way, are you okay being away from your main body for so long?" Ball Ball said flatly, "I can teleport back to my main body at any time." "Teleport?" Lily's eyes lit up. "Can you take me with you?" "No, without a transmission medium, I can only travel slowly." As he spoke, he handed Lily a vine bracelet and slid it onto her wrist. Lily looked at it curiously. "Is this a transmission medium?" The moment the words left her mouth, Ball Ball vanished into thin air, and the protective barrier disappeared with him. Lily panicked, yelling, "Ball Ball, come back!" Without the barrier, she could see the surrounding plants had been devastated, leaving no shade at all. Lily felt like she was being roasted alive. As they traveled, a group of beastmen suddenly popped out in front of them, startling Lily. She quickly ducked behind Ball Ball. It was too late for him to activate the barrier now. The beastmen greeted them friendly. Lily wanted Ball Ball to ask for directions, but he remained completely silent, marching straight ahead. Lily grabbed his woven backpack and started babbling nonsense, trying to get his attention. Ball Ball shot her a look, then simply picked her up in his arms. Lily was exasperated. "I didn't want you to carry me." The beastman assumed the white bone vine was a powerful warrior and wanted to follow him on a shortcut back to the city. Lily tried to get Ball Ball to agree, but he ignored her. He communicated with her telepathically. "If you have something to say, just say it. Stop babbling." Lily was stunned. "How? Use telepathy? I don't know how to do that." Then she remembered she possessed spiritual energy. Maybe she could try. She slapped her hands onto Ball Ball's head and focused her energy. "Ball Ball, can you hear my thoughts?" Ball Ball rolled his eyes. "Let go." "What do you want?" Just then, a beastman offered them a banana. "Great warrior, please wait. We'll just follow alongside you. We promise not to be a bother." Ball Ball, annoyed, raised his hand, ready to obliterate them. At the critical moment, Lily snatched the banana and babbled excitedly. "They know a shortcut to the nearest safe city. We need to follow them, understand?" Ball Ball frowned but nodded. Lily sighed in relief. Looks like he got it. The beastman cheered and led the way. In the backpack, the wolf cubs were whining from hunger. Lily started feeding them pieces of the banana. The lead beastman quickly warned, "Females and cubs shouldn't eat raw bananas. It'll give them terrible indigestion." Lily took a bite herself, signaling it was fine. But the beastman started whispering, criticizing the great warrior for not stopping her, saying he lacked basic common sense for taking care of a female and cubs. Lily scoffed internally. These beastmen sure talk a lot. But at least they seem safe. They soon arrived at the safe city. Wanted posters for her and Bruno were plastered all over the gates. Entering required scanning a personal terminal. Lily knew Ball Ball didn't have a terminal. They needed to ditch the crowd so he could activate the barrier and sneak them in. One of the accompanying beastmen suddenly noticed her resemblance to the female on the wanted poster. Lily quickly faked a stomachache to shake them off. Wandering the streets, she looked around, searching for a house with an internet connection. Ball Ball asked telepathically what she was looking for. Lily just tugged on him and babbled, afraid to speak out loud. Ball Ball frowned, holding out a crystal. "Do you want this?" "Tell me." Lily was exhausted from the journey and really wanted the crystal to replenish her energy. But Ball Ball, annoyed, simply tossed the crystal away. "Ah, my crystal!" In a moment of sheer panic, she accidentally spoke aloud using her spiritual energy. Ball Ball smirked. Not bad, very clearly spoken. Lily was overjoyed. Now she wouldn't have to use sign language or eye contact when surrounded by beastmen. Ball Ball nodded. "But you're still very weak, only I can hear you." He handed her another crystal. Lily grabbed it and immediately popped it into her mouth. "I'll practice hard." Night fell, and they rented a house with internet access. Seeing their mother and Ball Ball exchanging looks without speaking, the little wolves were full of questions. Lily was using her spiritual energy to scan the surroundings, desperate to grow stronger quickly so she could find Kyle, whose fate was still unknown. The little wolves asked, "Mama, are you mad at us?" "Why aren't you talking to us?" Lily laughed. "Mama's just checking to see if there's any danger. I'm not mad." She comforted them. "It's very safe here. Once we contact Papa Bear, we'll go live somewhere safe." The little wolves nodded eagerly. We miss Papa Bear so much. Standing nearby, Ball Ball's face turned dark with jealousy. He grumbled internally, "Who is this Papa Bear? What a terrible name." Lily booted up the computer and logged into Kyle's terminal account. The calls wouldn't go through, so she had no choice but to wait for Bruno to reply. She had no idea that her login had just exposed their location. The network center had already traced the IP address. She asked Ball Ball to memorize the route to the capital. Receiving no response, she turned around and was shocked to see Ball Ball had transformed into a giant sphere of vines. She knocked on the sphere. A small opening appeared, revealing Ball Ball lounging comfortably inside. He waved, "Come in and sleep." It turned out that on the night Ball Ball had rescued them, Lily had cried and shivered on his shoulder, completely unable to sleep. She had only managed to find rest inside the vine sphere he created. Ball Ball smiled gently. "The vine sphere is all fixed. Come inside." Lily laughed awkwardly. "No thanks, it was just too cold that night." "We have heating and a bed here." Ball Ball's face fell. Lily quickly changed the subject. "We'll sleep later. First, help me memorize the route to the capital." Ball Ball sat up and waved dismissively. "Child's play, leave it to me." Lily went to give the little wolves a bath. Hearing the cubs talk about how much they loved Papa Bear, Ball Ball was confused. What is a papa? They care about it so much, it must be very important. He felt a surge of jealousy. If it's so important, why does that bear get to be one? One of the cubs suddenly chimed in. "I like Ball Ball. Is he a papa too?" Ball Ball perked up his ears, listening intently. Lily quickly waved her hands. No, Ball Ball is just a friend. He's helping us find Papa Bear for now. We'll have to part ways eventually." Hearing this, Ball Ball flew into a furious rage. With a loud crack, he crushed the keyboard into dust. "That bear can be a papa, why can't I?" He was just looking for a target to vent his anger on when rustling noises came from outside. A swarm of beastmen was charging the house. Ball Ball's eyes narrowed. Annoying pests. With another massive boom, the beastmen were sent flying, and the house was reduced to ruins. Clutching her cubs, Lily stood frozen in the wreckage. She used her spiritual energy to scan the area and sensed another wave of beastmen coming to capture them. She quickly grabbed the cubs and tried to run. Just as they stood up, the beastmen appeared right in front of them. But they walked right past as if completely blind to their presence. Lily instantly realized Ball Ball had activated his barrier to protect them. She quickly fled into the forest. "Mama, Ball Ball hasn't caught up yet," the cubs cried out. Lily explained, "Ball Ball is still with us. We only escaped because of his barrier, but he used too much spiritual energy. He probably can't maintain his physical form right now." She knew deep down that from here on out they were on their own. After a grueling day of travel, Lily stopped to rest. Hiding in the shadows, Ball Ball muttered to himself, "If I can't be a papa, that bear won't be one either." Lily had been walking for 2 days, but the surrounding forest all looked exactly the same. They were clearly going in circles. "Ball Ball, are you there? Tell me which way to go," she called out. Silence answered her. She let out a long sigh. "We're going to die in this forest." The cubs' throats were parched. Lily encouraged them to hold on just a little longer. Suddenly, with a thump, a strange fruit dropped right in front of them. The cubs' eyes lit up and they scrambled out of their basket. "Wait!" Lily yelled, snatching the fruit. She examined it closely. She had never seen anything like it, and it smelled sickeningly sweet. Afraid it was poisonous, she threw it away. The little guys pouted, their stomachs rumbling loudly. Lily couldn't bear it. Gritting her teeth, she decided to nurse the weaned cubs. Once they were full, the little wolves slid off their mother. They scrambled back into their basket. Suddenly, Lily's vision went black, and she collapsed to the ground. Ball Ball instantly materialized, catching her before she hit the dirt. The cubs whimpered, tears in their eyes, terrified for their mother. Ball Ball pulled out a crystal and placed it in Lily's mouth. After absorbing the crystal's energy, color began to return to her pale face. "Lily, wake up." He patted her cheek gently, but she didn't stir. Ball Ball frowned. Why isn't she waking up? Usually a pat is all it takes. Terrified she was actually dying, he hastily fed her another crystal. As he patted her face, he blamed himself. "I cleared all the dangers from this path for you. I only made you get lost so you'd realize how much you need me." He shook her gently, completely breaking down. "Lily, I was wrong. Please don't die." Lily suddenly opened her eyes, mumbling groggily, "Cubs, stop making a fuss. Let Mama sleep a little longer." And with that, she fell right back asleep, muttering, "We'll go find Bruno in a bit." Ball Ball breathed a huge sigh of relief. He told the cubs to look after their mother. He made a shower of bananas rain down from the canopy and vanished with a whoosh. Meanwhile, back in the capital, Bruno kicked the chieftain's door down, roaring, "Hand Lily over!" The chieftain sneered. "You stupid bear playing the victim. You're the one who needs to hand Lily over." He ordered his men to capture Bruno. Bruno instantly transformed into his massive beast form, swatting the lackeys away one by one. But the chieftain remained completely unfazed. Bruno let out a furious roar and charged at him. The chieftain waved his massive hand. With a rumble, chunks of stone ripped from the ground and hurled themselves at Bruno, pinning him in place. Thinking he had the bear restrained, the chieftain ordered his men to finish him off. But before the lackeys could even strike, Bruno shattered the stone restraints, grabbed them, and beat them to a pulp. Bruno roared to the sky, "Give Lily back!" Suddenly, he caught a trace of Lily's scent. She's nearby. The Beastman guards launched a massive counterattack. Driven by his desperation to find Lily, Bruno fought with everything he had and smashed his way out of the ambush. 3 days prior, Lily and her group arrived at Exile City, only to be blocked at the gates by a group of beastmen. The leader, a scar-faced beastman, swaggered over. Bruno quickly shielded Lily behind him. Scarface's eyes narrowed. He was clearly eyeing Lily, intending to capture her and present her to his captain. Bruno picked Lily up, fully intending to force his way inside. Scarface immediately moved to block him. The surrounding beastmen jeered, "Hey, Brother Leopard, teach these guys the rules of Exile City." Scarface grinned menacingly. "If you want to get into the city, you have to get past me first, otherwise—" Bruno's face darkened. "Otherwise what?" Scarface pointed a finger at Lily. "Otherwise, the female belongs to us." The moment the words left his mouth, Bruno summoned a massive boulder from the earth. The crowd gasped in shock. Energy materialization. Bruno leaped onto the boulder, radiating an overwhelming, murderous aura. "Move if you want to live." The crowd hastily parted, watching Bruno's group march right into the city. Scarface roared in humiliation. "Stop right there. I wasn't ready." He demanded the fox beastman next to him help him attack, but the fox just stretched lazily. "I'm not doing something that stupid. I haven't lived long enough yet." Scarface rolled his eyes. The cunning fox had already realized that not only was Bruno incredibly strong, but the unassuming Ball's energy was terrifyingly deep. It wasn't worth the risk. But Scarface was stubborn. With a swish, he fired an arrow. Bruno's pupils contracted. He manipulated a stone to easily deflect it. "Hey, you're not the only one here who can materialize energy." Scarface laughed maniacally. "Just you wait and see." Bruno shot him a death glare, and Scarface turned and ran for his life. A friendly beastman came over and warned them. "You guys need to be careful. He's a repeat offender for stealing females. He's definitely got his eye on yours." Bruno sneered in disgust. "Him? He's not a threat, but his captain is an incredibly powerful warrior who's broken through with fire energy materialization." Lily was secretly shocked. "That powerful? We have to find a way to ally with him." The friendly beastman led them to the center of the Rocky Mountain. "If you like that prime spot in the center, you can just take it by force. That's how strong warriors do it here." Bruno waved it off. He walked up to a cliff face and delivered a devastating punch. The rock instantly shattered, carving out a perfect cave. The environment was nice, close to the water, and perfect for living. Just then, the sound of a wolf's howl echoed nearby. The little wolves immediately perked up their ears and howled back in response. Bruno quickly covered their mouths. "You can't answer calls here, it'll bring trouble." The cubs pointed toward the source of the sound, yipping, "Papa!" It turned out Kale wasn't dead, and he had heard the cubs' response, but he had lost his memory. A yellow-furred beastman reported to him. "Captain, a bear beastman with materialized earth energy just arrived. He brought a female." "A female?" Kale looked intrigued. "Yeah, she looks scrawny, but she has smart eyes. Totally different from the others." Kale's interest was piqued. "Then I absolutely have to meet them." Half a month later, the chieftain, Leo, led a raiding party toward Exile City, intending to capture Lily alive. The city guards spotted them and immediately reported back. Exile City held an emergency election for a temporary leader. Lily thought, if Bruno wins, he'll command the entire Exile City. But Bruno didn't want to get involved in the spectacle. Knowing this big bear hated the spotlight, Lily grabbed his hand, pleading and praising him. "Please go, I know you'll win. If you become leader, the power of Exile City can work for us." Bruno thought it over and finally gave in. They arrived at the arena, the crowd parting to let them through. The beastmen on the stage were locked in a brutal fight. Bruno instantly recognized that the wolf on stage was incredibly strong. With a single blast of fire, his opponent was reduced to ash. Lily felt a chill run down her spine and whispered to Bruno, "Let's go back. This is too dangerous." On stage, Kale laughed maniacally at the sky. Bruno's heart skipped a beat. Kale shouted to the crowd, "I hate lions the most. I accidentally went a little too far. Who's next?" When Lily saw his face, she froze. She couldn't help but call out, "Kyle!" Bruno quickly clamped a hand over her mouth. Kale's ears twitched. He curiously surveyed the crowd, his eyes landing on Lily. He slowly walked over to her. "I heard you calling my name just now." "Kale!" Lily covered her mouth, her eyes welling with tears. His face and his voice were exactly the same as Kyle's. She instinctively reached out, her fingertips gently touching his cheek. "I finally found you again, Kale." Tears welled in her eyes as she gently caressed his face. Seeing this, Bruno quickly pulled her back. "He's not Kale, let's go home." Lily snapped back to reality. He's right, Kale was never this brutal. But could there really be someone in this world who looked exactly like him? Kale frowned, looking at Bruno. "Who are you?" Scarface pushed his way to the front. "Captain, that's the bear beastman with the materialized earth energy. Teach him a lesson." "If you want a duel, we can schedule it later," Bruno said coldly. "My female is frightened. I'm taking her home now." Kale sneered. "I'm afraid you're not taking your female anywhere." "Get up here and fight me. Winner takes the female." "Fine, I'll fight you." Bruno thought to himself, if I don't beat him now, he'll just keep harassing us. Lily tried to stop him, terrified Bruno would lose. But Bruno suddenly pressed a soft kiss to her forehead. "Don't worry, I will win." Kale felt unexpectedly annoyed watching them. "Hurry up and get up here, stop wasting time." Bruno's eyes sharpened. He shifted into his beast form and launched a fierce attack. But within a few exchanges, he was defeated. Thankfully, Ball intervened just in time to save his life. Lily was terrified. This firewolf is definitely stronger than Kale, and he's cold-blooded and ruthless. He tore that beastman apart without a second thought. Kale was never that violent. Could it be him? Did a severe head injury cause amnesia and change his personality? Regardless, as long as he's alive, that's enough. The cubs crowded around her. "Mama, is this Papa's room?" Mama isn't sure either. He might just look like him. One of the cubs sniffed a piece of animal hide. "But everything here smells just like Papa." Lily was stunned. She was about to speak when Ball suddenly appeared. Ball, the cubs cheered. Lily quickly made a shush gesture, afraid the guards outside would hear. Ball reassured her. "I set up a barrier. They can't hear us." Lily asked about Bruno. Ball said flatly, "He tried to follow you, but I knocked him out so he could escape back home." Lily sighed deeply. Following us here would have just been a death sentence. "Is that wolf beastman the Kale you've been talking about?" Ball asked. Lily shook her head. "I'm still not sure. When he fell into the fire, he might have suffered a severe injury that caused amnesia. I need time to investigate." Ball ruffled her hair. "You investigate. I'll stay here and protect you." Just then, Kale pushed aside the curtain and walked in. His eyes froze. Lily was sitting alone on the windowsill, looking incredibly breathtaking. A smirk touched his lips. "This little female is quite interesting." "Papa! Papa!" The little wolves excitedly bounded over, cheering enthusiastically. Kyle looked completely confused. "What did you just call me?" Lily had instructed the cubs earlier that when the firewolf came in, they needed to eagerly call him Papa. She wanted to test him. Kale loved his children so much if it really was him. Hearing them call him that would definitely trigger some kind of emotion. Seeing Kale reach out toward the cubs, Lily watched with bated breath. But to her shock, he grabbed the cub by the scruff of the neck. "Your father is Kale, right? Do I really look that much like him?" Lily quickly snatched her child back. Kale sneered. "Very protective of your cubs, aren't you?" He sat down next to her. "Is Kyle dead? It doesn't matter. Once you're with me, you'll forget all about him very soon." He threw his head back and laughed. "Kyle!" Lily called out his name subconsciously. Kyle froze instantly. Lily stepped closer, placing her hands on his shoulders. "It's Lily." She cupped his face in her hands, murmuring, "Kyle, does that name mean absolutely nothing to you?" Kale grabbed her wrists. "Do you really know me?" Lily's heart jumped. "What does he mean by that?" Does he really have amnesia? Before she could process it, Kale pressed a kiss to her cheek. The familiar sensation sent a jolt through her heart. It is Kale. It has to be. Right at that moment, Ball walked in. Lily, do you like him? Lily was startled and quickly pushed Kale away. But just then, rushed footsteps echoed outside the door. Boss! The enemy's vanguard unit is less than 10 miles out. Kale was instantly furious. Those bastards ruining my good time. With a deafening shockwave, he blasted the reporting beastman out of the room. He ordered everyone to assemble at the city gates and told 2 guards to take Lily to the safe room. Scarface saw an opportunity and quickly volunteered. Boss, I'll guard the safe room. Kale slapped him hard across his sleazy face. She's mine, don't touch her. He issued his warning, then turned and left. Scarface stared intensely at Lily. He licked his lips with an evil grin. He led Lily to a dark, hidden chamber where several other females were also being kept. Lily couldn't understand why Kale had captured so many girls. Seeing the other guards also eyeing Lily inappropriately, Scarface pushed them all out the door. He turned and lunged at Lily like a starving wolf. In the nick of time, Ball used a vine to whip him to the ground. He wanted to kill him on the spot, but Lily gestured for him to hold back and delivered a ringing slap across Scarface's cheek herself. The guards outside heard the commotion and frantically banged on the door. Kyle, sensing something was wrong, had immediately turned back. Where is Scarface? Kyle demanded. He's giving the females some water. Kale's eyes flashed with rage. He kicked the door open. Lily immediately curled into a corner, shivering and pretending to be terrified. Kale's face was as dark as a storm. He grabbed Scarface by the throat. I said, anyone who touches her dies. With a deafening explosion of fire, Scarface was instantly incinerated into charcoal. Lily squeezed her eyes shut, unable to watch. Kale walked over to her. Don't be afraid, be a good girl, I won't burn you. He reached out his blood-soaked hand. Terrified, Lily quickly scrambled away. The fox beastman handed Kale a handkerchief, reminding him he needed to be at the city gates. Kale threw the cloth in his face. He picked Lily up, deciding to keep her by his side so he could be sure she was safe. The cubs were left in the care of other trusted beastmen. The enemy forces were being pushed back relentlessly, many of them burned to ashes by Kale's fire. He sneered dismissively. A bunch of weaklings dare to attack Exile City? He looked over at Lily, who was waiting quietly nearby, and a strange sense of familiarity washed over him. It feels like someone used to wait for me like that. Suddenly, a howling wind tore through the battlefield. A massive tornado rolled violently toward them. Kale ordered the fox to take Lily to a safe location. Lily's heart trembled. She recognized that tornado. It was Leo, the chieftain. Leo ordered the attack and a horde of beasts surged forward. He was grinning smugly when a massive fiery hand materialized and swept toward him. Leo quickly used his spiritual energy to defend himself, turning to see Kale. He instinctively dodged, his face a mask of sheer disbelief. You're not dead? And you've achieved energy materialization? Kale laughed coldly. Looks like I found the reason why I despise lion beastmen so much. Tell me, how well done do you want to be roasted? Seeing the fox trying to take Lily away, Leo ordered his men to pursue. But Kale instantly incinerated the pursuing group to ashes. Oops, attacked a bit too hard. Looks like your men are all gone, Kyle mocked. Leo's face contorted with rage. Wind whipped around him as he transformed into a massive tornado. Lily, terrified Kale was in danger, wanted Ball to help. Kale's fire attacks were sucked into the tornado. A wave of familiarity crashed into his mind. It feels like I've been caught in this twisted wind before. Leo manipulated the tornado surrounding Kale entirely. Kale's eyes narrowed, and with a massive burst of power, he broke through the vortex. Just as he landed, the howling wind struck from behind. He dodged to the side only to be rushed by another pack of beasts. The next second, vines whipped past with incredible speed, instantly wiping out the entire pack. Kale looked totally bewildered. What the hell is that? Seeing the situation turn against him, Leo assumed Kale was colluding with the white-bone vines and immediately turned tail and ran. But a giant vine suddenly lashed out, smashing him to the ground with a sickening thud. Kale stopped in his tracks, seeing the supreme leader of the capital approaching. Thinking it was another enemy and noting this guy seemed even stronger than Leo, Kyle prepared to strike. But instead, the supreme leader stepped hard on Leo's chest. You cost me 1,000 elite soldiers. I'll settle this debt with you when we get back. Leo panicked. Going back means a severe punishment. He suddenly sat up, pointing a trembling finger at Kale. It's him! He's colluding with the white bone vines. That's why we suffered such massive casualties. The Supreme Leader didn't buy a word of it and ordered Leo to be restrained for an investigation. Unwilling to go down like that, Leo attempted a sneak attack on the leader. The leader dodged effortlessly and, with a mere flick of his finger, knocked Leo absolutely silly, then ordered him dragged back to the capital. Impressed by Kale's power, the Supreme Leader offered him a position. Kale flatly refused. The leader told him to think it over, then departed with his captive. A rustling sound came from nearby. Kale yelled, "Who's there? Come out!" Ball slowly materialized into his human form. Kale's eyes narrowed. You were the one helping me. Was it really you who freed me? Lily was the one who freed you. You just helped a little, Ball said coldly. Lily was afraid you were going to die, so she made me come save you. Hearing this, Kale felt a rush of euphoria from his toes to the top of his head. Lily, I'm my female. She asked him to save me. Ball was seething with jealousy. Lily is mine. Stay away from her. Kale let out a cold laugh. So, you're not a friend. You're a rival. The amnesiac Kale had kidnapped Lily, and in the end, Ball had rescued her. Furious, Kale set a massive fire to burn Ball's main vine body. Sensing his main body burning, Lily immediately knew Kale had started the fire and told Ball to go put it out. But almost as soon as Ball left, Kale's men surrounded Lily and Bruno. Hand over my female and I'll give you a quick end, Kale said coldly. Bruno tried to reason with him, but Kale wasn't interested and ordered his men to kill the bear. Lily frantically shielded Bruno. Don't kill him! Bruno was your teammate. We're family. Kale bared his fangs. That bear has become your mate. Lily nodded, admitting it. Kale was instantly consumed by jealousy and ordered the attack. Bruno manipulated the earth, forming a protective rock barrier. Seeing this, Kale's body erupted in fierce flames. With a devastating blast, he shattered the barrier. From the rubble, thick white bone vines suddenly shot out. Bruno used the distraction to materialize behind Kale. Kale's eyes flashed as he blocked Bruno's strike. I'll finish you off first, you stupid bear. Elsewhere, after saving Lily, Ball collapsed to the ground. Lily felt his physical form becoming lighter and lighter. Terrified he would vanish, she hoisted him onto her back, intending to put out the fire. But the blaze was far too massive. She had no idea what to do. Let me do it, Ball said, slowly raising his hand. The next second, a torrential downpour burst from the sky. Kale's fire was fueled by pure energy. It could only be extinguished by the pure water energy of plants. Suddenly, with a heavy thud, Bruno collapsed right in front of them, an iron rod protruding from his back. Lily panicked, completely lost. Blood trickled from Bruno's mouth, his voice choked. Run! Lily, run! Lily screamed, her voice breaking. It's going to be okay. I'll find someone to save you. Kale walked over slowly. He can't be saved. From now on, you are my female and mine alone. Ball quickly stepped forward, blocking Kale's path. Kale sneered. Get lost. You're no match for me right now. Ball's expression darkened. Lily doesn't belong to you. Stay away from her. Beside them, Lily was sobbing uncontrollably. Bruno, don't sleep. Please wake up. Kale frowned, muttering to himself. How much does she like this bear to cry this hard? Seeing Lily so heartbroken, Ball felt a pang of sympathy. He walked over and pulled the iron rod from Bruno's back. Lily tried to stop him, but Ball crushed an orb of pure water energy in his hand and applied it to Bruno's wound. Amazingly, the wound slowly began to heal. Ball reassured Lily. He's still breathing. He won't die. Lily wiped her tears. You have healing powers? Thank goodness. The Fox Beastman tried to step forward to stop them, but Kale held him back. Ball looked deeply at Lily. Lily, are you happy when you're with them? I don't understand these actions, but I want to make you happy, just like they do. He felt as if he was beginning to experience the emotions of animals, but none of that mattered. He only wanted Lily to be happy. Bruno finally regained consciousness. Overjoyed, Lily quickly helped him sit up. She turned to thank Ball, but he was already gone. Lily's heart sank. He must have exhausted his spiritual energy and couldn't maintain his human form. I have to put out that fire. Bruno suddenly brushed against a vine. He realized it was the main body of the white bone vine. The fire was raging out of control. Lily screamed at the burning vines. Ball, please, just hold on a little longer. I'll put the fire out as fast as I can. Kale walked up behind her and said flatly, He's gone. Lily's emotions completely shattered. No, that's impossible. He's the invincible white bone vine. Ball Ball wouldn't die.